few blocks. Up in the Dumbo, smoking a gumbo. Few blocks before green, yeah, up in the jungle, coking the bundles. It's history in the making. I'm popping like fish to the grease and the bacon. My bitch is Jamaican. United we stand, dividing these bands. They hide in their hands. I'm riding in vans, slide through your land. Hopping the sprinters, tour of the underworld, popping the minter. Land of the turtles, I'm popping that up in the Dumbo, smoking the gumbo. Few blocks before green, yeah, up in the jungle, coking the bundles. It's history in the making. I'm popping like fish to the grease and the bacon. My bitch is Jamaican. United we stand, dividing these bands. They hide in their hands. I'm riding in vans, slide through your land. Hopping the sprinters, tour of the underworld, popping the minter. Land of the turtles, I'm popping that splinter. Watching the snowfall, dropping the winter. Dodging the pitfalls, watching this bitch fall. And I still managed like Rich Paul. The paper was calling, I had to go switch calls. I spoke to my twin, I told my young boys I'd never be broken again. Invoking the gins, spitting the spirits, I'm soaking the gin. Your man's in the woods, we smoking on him. Fuck do you mean? We up it and squeeze, tuck it and leave, we leaving a stain. Fuck up for breeze, running the banks, causing a crashing. Feather the feds, Moorish the fashion. Horse was smashing, kicking the door. Waving for force, it was blasting. Mother the gassing, loving the passion. Eat on your food, the brother was fasting. The weapon that formed against me was me. Perfected the storm as Bentley receipts. Washing the Benjis, we rinse and repeat. Century of self, I'm centered on me. Red as the pillar, I'm pushing the piece. Higher the level, I'm pushing the keys. They going for 19. The summer is mine, I'm going for 19. Thunder and lightning, flooded a bright lane. The hunger was biting, biting.
Yes, indeed. There you have it. Red opals, y'all. You know what I'm talking about? Get used to it. You're gonna hear that the whole summer. Talk black to me. Peace, love, and light to the family. Welcome to another episode of Melanin Mondays, episode 239. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for the evening, Brother Red Pillar, and I have a monumental show for y'all tonight. You know what I'm talking about? I have a monumental presentation that we're going to be delivering to the family tonight. But before we get into the business, let's go ahead and do the roll call. You already know what it is, who we got in the building. Shout out to everybody pulling up and whatnot. Make yourself comfortable. Get yourself a pen and a pad. Share the video. Tell someone. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Spread it like a rumor. I'm talking about? Yeah, make sure you share, subscribe, hit that like button. We are in the building. I have a special guest this evening, Brother Abdullah Mosley BEY. He is going to be dropping some very, very, very powerful information from a powerful book that he has. He got the receipts. He got bars for us. So we in the building tonight. St. Louis is here. Harlem is here. Yeah, talk black to me. Naptown is in the building. Richmond, Cali is in the building. Portland is in the building. Talk black to me. Chi City in the building. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, was goody. Atlanta in the building. KTL in the ATL. KTL in the ATL. St. Louis, I see you. You know what I mean? Shout out to the Lou. PG and DC up in this thing. Yeah. Shout out to all of my DMV family. We will be seeing you tomorrow, inshallah, at the 19 Keys Higher Level Tour Stop in B-More. Make sure y'all are in the building. Philadelphia and Boston. Make sure y'all are in the building. You don't want to miss this one. You know what I'm talking about? Henderson, Nevada's in the building. Shout out to Henderson. Santa Rosa, Delaware, Chicago in the building. Yeah, peace to everybody pulling up in the building. Okay. I'm not gonna, Alabama to Gump. Okay. Be more in the building. As soon as we hit 100, I'm going right into the news. It's a lot to talk about. Before I open up the show tonight and build with the brother, I have a whole epilogue of everything that has happened since we came together on Third Eye Thursday, because this shit is moving at such a fast speed. But baby, we got receipts. You know what I'm talking about? You know, the great divine speaks through signs and whatnot. And he was speaking this weekend. You know what I'm talking about? He was speaking this weekend, dropping all kind of motherfucking receipts and breadcrumbs for your boy and them. You know what I mean? Tuscaloosa warriors. All right. Look, Tuscaloosa.
To this day, you don't find that suspicious. To this day.
Yeah, that's your boy right there, Deontay, out of Tuscaloosa and whatnot. He caught a F the other day for carrying that blicky. You know what I'm talking about? He said he'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. Who could argue with that? Jackson, Mississippi in the building. But he shouldn't have to worry about being accosted for carrying a pistol to arm himself if he had all of his paperwork and things like that together. We wouldn't even have to have that conversation. You know what I mean? Hold on 1 minute, y'all. Hold on. The bat. Give me a minute, y'all. Give me a minute, y'all. I have to send another one of our guests a link. None other than the Blue Pillar. Me and Blue Pill had a historic show on Father Rich's channel on Saturday. If you're not connected to that network, I highly suggest that you do it right now. These platforms are connected. These platforms are not disconnected. There are connections. So there's conversations that we have over there that spill over here, okay? And the conversation that we had over there on Saturday dealt with the coronation. What I would say on record is the worst coronation or the worst ceremony that I've ever seen in my 47 years on this planet when it deals with anything that the European had put forward. That was one of the poorest productions in history. All of them were reading from cue cards. I want to say this, and I want to put this on record as we move forward, please. And this is me specifically saying this, Brother Red Pillar, on this date. Don't ever come to me and talk about what white people have this 50 years ahead of what the public has. Don't ever come and talk to me about what white people are doing secretly. Don't ever come to me and say that they have technology that's 100 years ahead. Don't ever come to me and say that they know more than us, because I'm going to say, first of all, respectfully, you are one of the reasons why the illusion is standing, because you're upholding it, right? You're giving them more credit than they deserve. They don't even give out credit like that in these days in the hood. Call me, you know what I'm talking about? You can't even go to the banks and get that much credit, the amount of credit that y'all give these people who you don't even know, and you don't even have proof of some of the things that you be saying and whatnot. You're giving them your power. You're giving them the credit. They don't have the shit that you be saying that they got. They wind up getting it because you said that they got it. How about that? They are not that powerful. They are not that savvy. They not that slick. They not that advanced. Stop lying and whatnot. How, Sway, right? They was reading off of cue cards at the coronation of a king, bro. Okay? They didn't even have teleprompters, nor did they didn't have the respect of performance, right? How is it the same day that Big K and Murder Mook was at a battle rap and they remember all of their rhymes for 3 rounds? How did they remember their rhymes off of the top of their head, right? And they was able to stand toe to toe with each other, and they didn't flop once. Everybody in battle rap is able to do that. So you mean to tell me that the king of all of these sovereign nations doesn't even know how to memorize his bars? You mean to tell me that his son, you was waiting your whole life for this, fam? You can't memorize your lines, bro? These niggas was literally reading from cue cards. The only soul that you saw inside that church was them black people, the gospel singers in all white. Them niggas was so clean, I thought it was Mid-Journey. Hold on.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
And they was Jamaican. I know the phenotype. I paused it. I was like, these are some Jamaicans turning up and giving them some flavor, because that shit was a non-season coronation. You know what I'm talking about? It had no seasoning whatsoever. They was singing omen type of music, you know, they was casting spells, but it was wild, lazy. The production was super lazy, and the way that they stunted on Prince Harry, I would say to anybody, all of y'all with the princess, with the princess programming and whatnot, pay attention to what you saw. And all you niggas thinking that you are going to code switch and bootlick your way into the Buckingham Palace, my nigga. If they stunt on their own like that, imagine what they'll do to the help. That should never want anybody to aspire to be a part of that Bridgerton shit. They treated Prince Harry, the one with the ginger hair, like he was the help for real. It was so, I felt bad for him. I don't got no horse in the race. I was like, damn, how did they stun on him like that? You had delegates from like Africa. They wouldn't even look at him. That's when I said this is the mafia for real. That's when I was like, oh, this is some Corleone type ish. He crossed the line with the big dog. They wouldn't even look at homie. And my spider sense was like, you know what? They just done with playing games with him. He's not from the loins of Charles. And they held that shit together while the mama was alive. But now that she gone, they like, you know what, homie? You can't live. You're not part of this. Peace to the God. You got Blue Pill in the building, the legend. Real quick, I want to get right into it because we do have our guest in the building. And I want to run through, I want to call this the epilogue to what we've been building on and put a cap to it. Okay. So right after we did the show on Brother Richard's channel on Saturn Day, right? You said Harry's not his son. Show me anywhere that Harry looks like Prince Charles. He has ginger hair. Show me anywhere that there's any resemblance to that whole lineage of people that he's around. He looks completely different. So yeah, they not playing games with him no more. He got stripped of everything. Prince Andrew, right? Who's linked to Epstein. He had more royal titles on him, and he was sitting in front of Harry. So what does that tell you? It was all in the, you had to be able to read what was taking place. And who was the melanated dude in the front? He was up there damn near next to homie from Canterbury.
There was a lot of melanated people in the building.
A lot of melanated faces, y'all.
Key performance ceremony, right? Who are these people that were so key that they was instrumental in the coronation process, not just in attendance,
not just in the seats.
They were part of the process. Who are these people?
You feel me? The bald-headed sister. I was like, who is that right there? And who's homie that was robed up? What part did they play? Because he had his back turned and dude from Canterbury was saying some shit with the back to the audience. I'm like, nah, there you go right there. Everything, when I was watching that ceremony, all of the teachings that you told me, Blue, when we were younger about the highest degrees of that ladder, when you get into certain rooms past the 99 degree or the 99th degree, it's gonna be your people are gonna be in there. You're gonna see black faces.
I mean, even the 33rd degree, the Shriners are told, you know, they bring in a melanated man and they say this is God, and they said it's a homeless man that they bring in.
Right.
So the most lowly on the social strata totem pole of melanin is what they're showing them. You know what I'm saying? They like, look, this is persona non grata. You can't even touch this.
Can't even touch it.
Even as a homeless man. So they had some pretty high-ranking members up in there, regaliaed up, performing key ceremonies.
Whew. The dripping, yeah, the drippery. It was slippery.
Yeah, the drippery was slippery.
The drippery was slippery.
You can tell even by evidence of how drippy it was. That's not even theirs, you know.
You could definitely tell.
I read articles about the cloak, the gold sheath that they put on them.
Yes.
Yeah, all of that comes from, you know, stolen legacies or what have you. But obviously, the white pearly cloth they had with the spots on it, that's like, you know what I mean? Like,
That's not the Leopard Kingdom. That's out of the Leopard Kingdom that Queen Diambi and them be talking about out the Congo.
Congo,
yeah, that spotted leopard and all of that.
Yeah.
They shit was
Yeah, they were stunting.
Nah, it was like, fam, they looked like homie was like the King Jamaican at like the illest white party. Everything stolen.
You don't find that suspicious.
It was like the king shot to my nigga. He was like big shot to everything stolen at a Jamaican all white affair. Everybody has some stolen shit on, bro.
Yeah, so you made the connection to Jeffrey, and that would be full circle. Like I said, the Scorpion full moon is a celebration and the anniversary of YSL, of Young Thug, of that Jeffrey.
Yes.
Right, getting locked up. And also Jeffrey Epstein was in the news last year when Jeffrey was getting rounded up. And Jeffrey is back in the news this year around the same time.
Right.
Jeffrey Epstein was back in the news at the same time. And so was
Young Thug,
whose trial I believe begins today or something like that.
Right. So what was even more interesting, Blue, that happened immediately after the show that we did with Rich was the blood rituals and whatnot. So when it comes to the rituals, you can't necessarily gauge anything that happens before the date. But as soon as this Scorpio lunar eclipse comes in, then you have to start paying attention to what's going on around you. So right away, right after the whole thing that we talked about with the ritual that was taking place and how it was really had ties to the Moors and whatnot, we have a situation that popped off right in Texas, okay, by a suspect by the name of who? Mauricio Garcia.
That's suspicious. You don't find that suspicious. You don't find that suspicious.
And we have our etymology expert in the building pulling up. So we're going to have him break down what Mauricio means. And that is a Moor, okay? Mauricio is Moor, right? So the exact situation that took place, right? Let's play this real quick about this mall shooting. And I would ask any of the students in the audience, because I don't want to let the cat out the bag, what does this remind you of? What is this almost a twin of? What is this an exact doppelganger of? And I'm going to show you something in a minute.
This incident, once again, reigniting the gun debate there in Tech. What more are we learning about the victims at the mall? What do we know about the shooter now?
Yeah, we are learning a great deal more, Kay. We've now identified 4 of those 8 victims and some disturbing information here. 2 of those victims just confirmed by Wiley ISD. That's another suburb in the area. 2 of them elementary school age, 4th grader Daniela Mendoza and 2nd grader Sofia Mendoza. Their mother remains in critical condition, according to that school district. Christian LaCour was a security guard. His mother posted about him on Facebook saying he was just 20 years old. And Aishwarya Tarikanda was a 27-year-old from India working as an engineer here in the area. That information provided by a group that's helping her family. As for that suspect, we are learning a great deal more about him as well. He joined the Army back in 2008, but was just after about 3 months there, either with a physical or a mental condition. He did not complete basic training. That information coming from the military. And we're also seeing more of the suspect's social media posts.
Social media.
YouTube video where he's seen wearing a mask similar to that featured in the Scream movies. He removes it to reveal his face, and just a creepy video posted there on YouTube. Also postings on a Russian social media platform where he says things against women and against minorities, talks about other recent mass shootings as well, just some disturbing stuff. Also some photos there where he appears to have tattoos of Nazis on his chest and his arms. Just more disturbing information to come out of here, guys.
Stephen, so many new details. So this incident, once again, reigniting the gun debate there in Texas, the location of many mass shootings. What's your sense about what's happening now?
So we have that shooting, right? And that is a mirror This happens right on the lunar eclipse in Scorpio, right? So exactly a year ago, boom, 2022 Buffalo shooting on May 14th, 2022, a mass shoot.
That's the window. That was the blood moon too, ritual. My bad.
That's the blood moon. That's the blood moon, right? A year ago, May 14th, Scorpio blood moon. On May 14th at the Buffalo in Tops, the Tops Friendly Market, 10 people, all were black, were murdered and 3 were injured. That shooter identified as 18-year-old Peyton Gendron. He was into white supremacy. He's an ethno-nationalist, and he left a manifesto. He's a supporter of what they call white supremacy. He voiced his support for far-right great replacement conspiracy theory in the context of a white genocide.
You don't find that suspicious. You don't find that suspicious. You don't find that suspicious. You don't find that
okay. And he comes right from where the governor comes from, the Cape Kathy chick, right? So that happened, okay? That was the first ritual. And then right after that, this happens. There's a situation. All right, so the Texas gunman wore right-wing death squad patch as he killed 8 at the mall, right? And he filmed it live, right? Or he didn't film it, but it was filmed live, right? The same way that the Buffalo shooting was filmed. So you get to see the massacre around the world. Everybody that's into stuff like that wants to get into things like that so they can live vicariously through the killer, right? What do? They watch it, right? So now during a blood moon, millions of people are able to watch an execution of innocent people, right? During a ritual in Scorpio, which is death, in real time on social media. And then in Texas, George Alvarez, right? George Alvarez is the killer of 8 people at a bus stop in Brownsville, Texas, through vehicular homicide. Okay, so he runs them over. The video is very disturbing and whatnot. And his name is George Alvarez, right? So King Charles, right? You have a George and Charles connection, but then you also have the Alvarez connection. Okay, so the Alvarez family crest, okay, is a Spanish patronymic surname that derives from either ancient personal name Alvaro, means son of Alvaro, or derives from the Arabic word Alfaris, meaning the knight. One source states it was originally born by Visigoths who came from Germany into Spain during Roman times.
suspicious. You don't find that suspicious. You don't find that suspicious.
I mean, unpack that for them.
You don't find that suspicious.
You know, give the fullness of that explanation just in case they don't know what that means.
Right. So the last name of the person in the car crash, Alvarez, the surname of Alvarez means the knight. And it was brought by the Visigoths who came from Germany into Spain during Roman times. So just the whole aspect of what we were breaking down with King Charles and the history of the Moors and the ancient history of the quote unquote ancient Britons, which were brutish Moors, melanated Moors, the aspect of the Visigoths and how these Visigoths are on the throne right now, you know, basically usurping the throne. And they're not of the bloodline to sit on that throne.
Yeah, the Windsors were originally the Colberts, and they come from Bavaria, Germany.
Right.
So that's the connection. The bloodline that he comes from is specifically from Germany and Bavaria region. And not only that, they are governed in that region by an entity called Saint Maurice, which is
Right.
Moorish saint, the African Moorish saint, the melanated Moorish saint. Anybody can Google this. And also Benedict the Moor comes from that region. Benedict the Moor is coronated. I believe either he was born or coronated or venerated, should I say, or his day of worship is April 4th or 4/4. He's a 44 resonator.
Right. Right.
In fact, that's where Benedict Arnold comes from.
Right.
So all of this ties in. There's a lot more deeper syncs. We gave the bloodline sync about the Solomonic and Davidic connection to the fact that the British monarchy is usurping the biblical bloodline of Christ by way of the monarchy, by way of Solomon and David. If you go to 1 Kings 5:7 or 5:6,
Right.
if you go through, I believe it even might be in Samuel's or Corinthian. I read it yesterday during my sermon. There's
Right.
5 or 6 different connections. The way that we interpret scripture is we assign the scripture to the to the Gregorian calendar date.
Right.
So since this is May 6th, May 7th, May 8th, we go to the chapter in the books. All through those chapters, they were making references to the bloodline of David and the bloodline of Solomon. So they coincide and laid it perfectly on top of biblical scripture to enact this usurping of quote unquote, the bloodlines. But even prior to that even the Christians, and I would dare say the Davidic Solomonic bloodline was derived from an ancient Kemetic bloodline.
Right.
The actual coronation ceremony, right, which is considered to be the Christos ceremony. The Christos ceremony is when they take the fat from the crocodile and they anoint you. That comes from a region in Kemet called On, and On is Heliopolis, or what's called Alexandria, and it's the root word of where London comes from. All look, all places with ON on it are replicas, and they all are tied into On, which originally is Alexandria, which is where they were doing the coronation ceremony for the King of Kings in
Compton.
This ties more so to the Osirian ritual prior, predates the quote unquote Jesus or the Christos ritual.
Right.
And
so a lot is going on in Texas, y'all. A lot is going on in Texas. We covered Texas extensively when the ritual took place with Travis Scott. We also tapped into Texas with the with the takeoff sacrifice in October the 31st on Scorpio on Halloween, surrounded by Scorpions whose birthday were on Halloween. That's Jay Prince and his son. They both are the 30th and the 31st. Shout out to everybody in Texas.
Let's the fact that one of the murderers, I forget which one, it might have been Mauricio, they were Scorpio as well.
Yes, Mauricio, I forgot to say that.
Yes.
Do your research. The killer in Texas, the shooter, the Mauricio dude. Mauricio is more, and he's a Scorpio. All right. And in Texas, Scorpios are in Texas. Texas is known for having Scorpios like Harlem has roaches. But look, Blue, we're going to bring our guest in the building. You are welcome to stay with us. We're going to go further down a rabbit hole. This was all a precursor and a beautiful segue.
I'm gonna actually put a slideshow together. I want to come with some receipts. I want to lay some things out visually so the family can follow along.
Right.
Rabbit hole. May them souls rest in peace nonetheless. You know what I'm saying? But
interestingly enough, I put When in Rome on the Patreon on the day of the eclipse. You know what I mean? Just to give all of the Patreons access to that 7-hour demonstration that we did.
To that piece of prophecy, that was an amazing demonstration, and it has receipts connected to it the size of a phone book at this time. So family should really tap in, and I'm gonna pull back up and give a full layout, a full dissertation of these pillar prophecies and what we're seeing unfold in real time.
Oh yeah, bro. It's lit, man. It's lit. So
Yeah.
keep
no-
your finger on the pulse, bro. I appreciate you. I really want to say
Continue to teach, elevate
Yes.
the conversation. Shout out to your guest. Is this my brother Mosley Abdul?
Yes. Let me go ahead and open up
Yeah.
the line real quick before you get out of here. Bring him in the building. Without any further ado, family, I want to bring to you our brother, your brother, Abdullah Mosley BEY. Peace.
Islam.
Peace, everyone.
Peace. Islam, brother.
Islam. Way to make it.
Good brother.
Islam alaikum.
Alaikum assalam. And pardon. I apologize for not saying your whole name, your whole nomenclature. Can you say it, brother?
Abdullah El Talib Mosi Bey.
There you go. Islam, peace. Welcome back to the platform.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back.
Yes.
Blue pill in the house. My man.
Yo, we passing through Philly. That's where you at, right?
Yeah. Are you in Philly?
I'll be in Philly.
Nah.
I'm in
When?
Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday.
Yeah,
You mean Philly? All right.
Philly is the Wednesday move, and I should be with the brother as well.
I'll
So
send you some information on that. All right.
yeah, we'll slide the information.
Farewell. Have an amazing show, and I'll tap in. In the ether to check it.
Thank you.
Peace. Yes.
All right, peace.
Yes. And for the record, Jamie Foxx is from Texas as well. Yeah. So we got our eyes on Texas. Welcome, my brother. Peace, man. How's everything going on?
Doing well. Thank you for having me, brother, for the 10th time.
Yes. You know the
It's been a
conversation.
while. It's been quite
It's a continuum. Before I even begin asking any questions and whatnot, I want to know how was it releasing your new book? And first of all, congratulations on the release of your second book, your most recent book.
Yes.
With 1,000 receipts in it. Where is that book at? Yeah, let me grab my book, bro. Yes, you really went in. Your research is very, very thorough. You bring back the importance of the book, the tome to have in your hand versus the ebook that it has its perks and everything. But I love flipping through pages and I love adding highlights to notes and whatnot. So how was that experience? I know you've been in the lab for a minute with that.
Yeah, man. Actually, I got back on it in December 2021, 15 consecutive months on it, and did a revamping my knowledge, thanks to Brother Shimalakai Bey, my knowledge of treaty studies, international. In fact, studying with Shimalakai Bey, that has actually brought Moors and Masonry Part 1 more to life for me. Right. And so what I do in Part 2 is present the application of the treaties more in depth in Part 2.
No, that's dope. That's that growth and development right there and whatnot.
And you actually will see that in more Part 2. You will see my growth and development and throughout Part 2.
I can attest that I've seen it. I'm hailing you up for the growth and development that I picked up, just going through the book. So salute, salute. Let's share with the audience what we have prepared for them tonight and what they have to look forward in this dissertation.
Oh yes, the topic, reparations or postliminium, returning a people to their original condition before slavery. So this word postliminium in international, it's the international law restoration term, when a people was placed in conquest and returning them back to that condition, as if where they don't feel the effects of conquest, where they're totally returned and restored. That term is called postliminium. So we really got to get that term out.
Until now, I'm curious as to why we haven't heard that term until now. That's rather a new term right there. I don't recall hearing any of our teachers even use that verbiage.
There you go. Absolutely. I would say, in fact, Red Pill,
you don't find
that term, I came across, that term was brought to my attention in 2020. think
Yeah.
it was June of 2020. We bought actually the Law of Nation books by Emir Vital. And that's when we first saw the term, and we were actually sharing the book and posting it. So this brother Jakeem, he actually brought that term to my attention. And he said, go to the book. There's a term called postliminium. I said, postliminium, what is that?
Right.
So I looked to it and went to the page, and so I've been studying, postliminium since that June of 2020.
Wonderful, wonderful. Please, let's get into it so we could share with the audience, some of the arguments and, more details and more descriptions of what that is.
That's exactly what I do in chapter 8 of Moors and Masonry part 2. We were starting from page 254, and those who already have the book, Moors and Masonry part 2. And what I do is I wanted to explain it and so that the common day folk can understand it.
Right.
You're talking
which
about
is
a
very
term
important.
that's not known recently. Like I said, I didn't come across it until 2020. So I wanted to really, and what I did, Red Pill, is I spent 5 months on chapter 8 with this book. So let me give you the title for chapter 8 of the book. All right. The title for chapter 8. Yeah, I'll go right to, I'm gonna read the title for chapter 8. All right. Shem Malachi Bey's proposal and plan for the restoration of Moorish national political unity based in the ancient, well-settled international law principles of restoration of postliminium, reversion to sovereignty, and recovery of lost sovereignty. So that is the title for chapter 8, and we're going to be coming from page 254 and on, and that's where I go into postliminium. I wanted to break it down so that the common folks can understand it. I wanted to analyze restoration in the context of postliminium. Should it be
right?
So what is restoration? So we're actually going to get into that, and getting people to think, stimulate thinking and debate and open dialogue.
Right. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because in the audience is a group of creators that I invited over from a private group that I have on Discord. And amongst this group of creators are what we call prompt engineers and AI generator artists. They are very proficient on with a tool called Midjourney, where they could take ideas and concepts and create actual visual images. So they're in the line. Yes. So I've tasked them with the opportunity to take what's being said tonight and actually prompting it out and creating visual components to what we want to see. So as you give us the vision of what this will look like, we're actually going to create it in a generated art space. Yeah, that's gonna be the bonus. Yeah. So let's go in and let's paint that picture. And let's get on the paintbrush right now. Let's be what we call Afrofuturists or visionaries.
Yes.
Yeah, the soothsayer is the griot. You know what I mean? The griot was the one that not only told the story, but he painted the picture. And he's a time traveler. He could take you to places that you have not necessarily even seen before in your mind's eye. But keep this in mind, y'all. Perception is everything. We are prisoners of perception-based reality. So to break out of that prison, you change your perception. To break out of that perception and to change your perception, you listen to brothers such as this who have vision and whatnot, who can give you it's like reading a script for a movie. And as the staff, as the cast, and as the actor and the lead and the extras and whatnot, you will begin to visualize what that movie will look like in your mind's eye, and then you will fall into your role and start living out that quote unquote script. So it's the same thing with these books that we read, and it's time to take those words off of pages and to breathe life into them. So please, brother, go in. I'm going to give you the floor, and I'm going to let you build this quote unquote this mansion for us to begin to dwell in.
before I go in that one, you mentioned perception is everything. There's a quote by Philip K. Dick.
Yes, he's a legend.
The basic tool for the manipulation of reality is the manipulation of words.
Right.
Those who control the meaning of words control the people who must use them. That is very profound.
And not only is it very profound, but Philip K. Dick is such, his works are used by so many quote unquote people in the realm of power and in the realm of many industries, in the realm of the control of what I call the fantasy complex industry, which will be Hollywood and the comic books, TV and music. Someone who they look up to, and his works are still being quote unquote utilized. Even the definitions of terms that he brought in his literature is Philip K. Dick. Please pause. Please look him up, y'all. Please, we'll do a whole show on him moving forward. He was their visionary. So we have to identify our visionaries. We have an Octavia Butlers. We have our master teachers. We have Noble Drew Ali. Peace be upon him. He was a soothsayer. He's a visionary. He is a prophet, right? So if we are able to take his prophecies and to turn his prophecies into things that are quote unquote tangible, because Philip K. Dick's works have been turned into movies. Total Recall. Man, there's a litany of movies. While you speak, I'm going to Google all of the works of art that was created out of his works. But please continue.
Oh, please do that. Please do that. All right. So reparations or postliminium, returning a people to their original condition before conquest. So let's look at this on page 254 of MOSI Part 2, analyzing reparations in the context of the international law principle of restoration known as postliminium. Question: does the argument for reparations address the return of a people held against their will under the conditions of slavery, subjugation, servitude, captivity, bondage to their original condition, and thereby restoring the following? So does the argument of reparations restore the following: knowledge of history, knowledge of nationality / national identity, knowledge of consanguinity, genealogy, ancestry, national origin, descent, pedigree, parentage and lineage, land and estate, artifact displayed and stored in European museums, treaty protections, national government flag, national government seal, knowledge of past government representatives, knowledge of ancestral languages, knowledge of science of medicine and sound healing, knowledge of cultural headdresses, knowledge of ancestral cultural dress, clothing, knowledge of ancestral cultural festivals, knowledge of ancestral cultural holidays, knowledge of ancestral cultural dances, knowledge of ancestral cultural rituals, knowledge of ancestral cultural ceremonies, knowledge of ancestral cultural celebrations, knowledge of philosophy, knowledge of science of astronomy, the law of the stars and star alignment, knowledge of science of agriculture and planting by the stars, knowledge of cartography, map making and astronomy, knowledge of geography and astronomy, knowledge of calendar making and astronomy. Does the argument put forth by those who push reparations address the restoration of those points that I raised? When you say
not to my knowledge in particular, but I may be limited in my knowledge of that.
I never heard of it.
Yeah,
I've heard, and we're gonna get into what is being pushed. A check, and we're going to analyze that. But I wanted to get people to think, so when they hear discussions on reparations, listen for these points, which you won't hear.
Right.
You won't hear. You'll hear a check. And we're going to talk about that, but that's what I wanted to start off. So now we have Question: what does it mean for people to be stripped of their land, estates, natural resources, birthright, inheritance, culture, pre-existing sovereignty, names, titles, and headdresses as listed above, and never to be restored and returned to their original condition through the enforcement of the international law of nations principle of restoration known as postliminium? So there is no issue, there's no principle in international law, none. Bring the best scholars. They would not, you cannot show a principle of in anywhere in international law whereby I take your house. All right. I have in chapter 8, imagine this. Imagine this. Imagine that I hold your 3-month-old child in captivity. Take you out of the house. You have a $250,000 house, a $10,000 Rolex watch, $100,000 Mercedes Benz, $100,000 in the bank, $5,000 worth of clothing, $10,000 worth of furniture, right? Then raise your child. So not returning that. So, and there's another scenario where I hold you in captivity. Then I say you're free, but I never return your $100,000 in the bank. I never return your $250,000 house. Never return your 5,000 Rolex watch.
Right.
Never return your $100,000 car. And I say, well, all right, you're free. Right. I'm going to give you a $100,000 job.
Right.
Well, you don't need a $100,000 job.
Right. You got the right.
No, I know. You return the house.
Right.
Return the Rolex watch. Return the bank account.
Right.
So just get us to think.
That's restoration. So that's what restoration looks like.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that is postliminium. So postliminium would be returning the house, returning the Rolex watch, returning the bank account, returning the car, returning the furniture, returning the clothing. That's postliminium. Not give me a job. No, I don't need that. Give me the house. It's mine. So there's an international law. No one can show you that there's a principle of ending slavery. There is no ending of slavery or embodiment of slavery without the enforcement of postliminium. To say that you are free or slavery's ended, but I still hold on to your Rolex watch, your house, your bank account, your Mercedes Benz. How are you free? How are they abolished slavery?
To this day.
Because we don't know who we are. That means that includes our name, our nationality, our history, our culture, our philosophy, our rituals, our celebrations. They're telling us anything that slavery ended. They've never ended slavery. Why, Abdullah? Because they never enforced postliminium. They never returned us to our original condition. You must return us to our original condition. That's the ending of slavery. The ending of slavery, the embodiment of slavery, constitutes the international law enforcement of postliminium. Period. There's nothing else. Period.
Talk about it.
So this is key. Red Pill you have coming up next month, Juneteenth Day.
Yes, Juneteenth.
Juneteenth Day, you have also the 1619 Project. You have the 1619 Project, you have Juneteenth Day. This Juneteenth Day, this celebration of this ending of slavery and, you know,
Emancipation Proclamation, not the ending of slavery.
All right. And our people's minds,
right.
The Juneteenth Day. Juneteenth Day, those who celebrate this, celebrate what they have in, they purport our freedom. That's what that celebration. They purport to be celebrating our freedom. They're not selling, in truth, they're not celebrating our freedom because we're not free. They're purporting to be celebrating our freedom.
Right. Right. If there's anyone, hold on, on this call, on this line, in the audience, who watched the replay, right, of the thousands who will watch the replay, if there's anyone out there who can hear this, who are under the impression that Juneteenth is a celebration for you Negroes' freedom, right? Like how you think freedom is, please put a thumbs down in the chat room and hold that L. None of your teachers, near one of them, no one that we have considered as a conscious teacher, whether master teacher or just a teacher, no one amongst the ilk in the pantheon of quote unquote ancestors, right? The pantheon of ancestors are the ones who just made transition. Nobody said, from all of the lectures that I've sat through, that Juneteenth or the Emancipation Proclamation was our freedom and that the slaves were free. None of them.
To this day.
Near one of them.
To this day.
So the fact that they made that shit a holiday and you get a chance to go and picnic, right? Let's not be under the impression and let's not live in a perception bubble of some fake ass reality, right? A matrix.
That's what it is. That's
you know,
that's what it is.
Falsehood, and you propagating because your ass just got a holiday. Uncle Ben or what's his name, Ho Biden is out here freeing you niggas. I'm just saying I just wanted the record to be clear. You know, that's the disclaimer as we move forward, as this brother builds what he's building. Okay. And we have to approach it with facts, not emotions. He's laying out information to help strengthen whatever argument that you may have. He's giving you the missing pieces. But please continue, King.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, we have a page 258 on MOSI Part 2. What are our people using as a compass and measuring stick to determine that they are free and that slavery ended in 1865? What are Moors classified as Black, Negro, Colored, and African American in the United States Census Bureau in the Commerce Department using as a compass and measuring stick to determine that they are free, that slavery has been abolished, that slavery has ended, that they have been emancipated under the Emancipation Proclamation 1863 from 1865 to the present? Our people are using the fact that they are no longer subjected to the following treatments listed below as a compass and measuring stick to determine our quote-unquote freedom and that quote-unquote slavery has been abolished since 1865. 1, being forced to work against our will without payment or compensation on the slave's master's plantation. Another, 2, being forced against their will to live on the slave master's plantations. 3, being held in physical chains and shackles on the slave master's plantations. 4, being forbidden to freely leave the slave master's plantation. 5, being whipped by the slave masters if attempted to escape from the slave master's plantation. 6, not forbidden to read and forbidden to being taught how to read on the slave master plantation. 7, being whipped if caught with a book on the slave master plantation. So if you were to make these comments tomorrow to your co-workers, your kin, friends who are classified as Negro, colored, Black, and African American, and say that just make the statement, we are not free, they will look at you like you are crazy. What are you talking about, Willis? What are you talking about, Willis? What do you mean we're not free? What are they using as a gauge that they are free? So what I did was, and this is not a comprehensive list, you know, I wanted to list some points of getting people to think. So when you're talking to your co-workers that classified Negro, color, Black, family, kin folks, you know, friends, and you're talking to them about this presentation, they're gonna immediately come with an emotional response. What are you talking about, Willis? We are free. And they're gonna make that, and you say, well, what makes you think we're free? What do you mean, Willis? What are you talking about, Willis? What do you make? Well, you know, well, we couldn't be able to do the things we were able to do, but then, like, you know, we couldn't, you know, we couldn't be able to read, and and we was in on plantations. They'll start talking that. They will start making those gauges. All right, we're able to buy houses now, and we can live any place we want, and we can buy cars, and we can rent cars, and we can go to school, and see, we weren't able to do these things before, and so they'll start listing. And I have here on page 259. Let me give you the list. Why do our people think they are free and that slavery has ended? Our people think they are free and that slavery ended in 1865 because they are able to do the following: not being forced against our will to live on a slave master plantation, not being forced against our will to be physically chained and shackled, not being forced against our will to work, being compensated for our labor when we work, being able to move about freely without getting permission from our slave master, being able to buy and own homes, being able to buy cars, being able to buy clothing, being able to learn how to read and own books, being able to go to school and earn various degrees, being able to work in various fields, being able to run and being elected to various offices in government, being able to own businesses, being able to go to any restaurant, being able to become members of sororities, fraternities, Masonic orders, Eastern Star orders, chapters, Daughters of Isis chapters, being able to play professional sports, being able to go on vacations to various countries, states, and cities, being able to invest in stocks, being able to have bank accounts, being able to rent property. All right. So they're going to throw this in your face. They're going to throw this in your face. What are you talking about, Willis? We're able to do all these things. Yes, we're free. Slavery ended, Willis. They abolished slavery, Willis. What are you talking about, Willis? See that? So, all right, let's go back to the scenario. I take your $250,000 house, $100,000 bank account, $10,000 Rolex watch, $100,000 Mercedes Benz, $5,000 clothing, right? Kick you out the house. I don't return it. I offer you a job. I don't restore you to where you were before I held you in captivity. And you say, oh, I'm working, man, but I never returned. You don't need to work. Right. You don't need no job from me. I never returned your car, your house, your clothing, your Rolex watch, your bank account.
Right.
So this is where I'm coming from. So they give you jobs and say you're free, didn't return the land rights, the estates, they're taxing you, regulating you, using as futures, securities, a labor force, a market.
To this day.
So they had not been in the international restoration principle of post-millennium. They gave you jobs. You don't need no jobs.
Nah.
Jobs.
You know what I'm talking about? You really don't.
So they took so because we don't know who we are, that includes our name, our nationality, our history, our culture, our philosophy, headdresses, ceremonies, rituals, holidays, festivals. That embodies not just your nationality. Come on, conscious Moors. Follow me, conscious Moors.
Where y'all at?
Follow me, conscious Moors. Where are you?
Where you at?
Not good enough. I'm not, when I say who you are embodies your festivals, headdresses, your philosophy, your culture, your rituals, your ceremonies, your languages. That embodies who you are.
Right, because as weak as that ceremony was on Saturday, they put on in what way that they thought that they could put on. It was a full military display that they had taken place. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. And they carried out their ceremony and you know, when you look at the coronation of Haile Selassie, they carried out their ceremony in their way. It wasn't just people getting around each other and figuring this shit out. It was a ritual. You know what I'm talking about? It was absolutely a ritual. So the brother's asking you, where's your rituals? Where's your ceremony? Where's your dress? You niggas can't even agree to the same dress. You know what I'm talking about? Where's your heirlooms? Where's your crown jewels? Oh, it's this piece of amethyst that I had bought from. No, my nigga. No, where's your crown jewels? They date back to the Olmecs. You feel me? Absolutely. They date back to Kemet on all those trips you made.
Absolutely.
On all them trips you made. You know what I'm talking about? What did you bring back? Or what did we manifest in? Or where is it? But go ahead, brother. Keep cooking.
Now that red pill. So let's look at this.
And I'm sorry, I mean to cut your wisdom, but that question would easily be answered if what this brother is saying begins to occur, right? Like I said, I got visionary, I got creatives in the building tonight. So we're gonna live in a post-millennium world.
Absolutely.
Where the restoration took place. So we'll get to show you what that looks like versus what maybe Dave Chappelle's version of what reparations may look like, or absolutely, versus on the reality that we're living in right now looks like. You know what I'm talking about? Where absolutely, niggas don't got nothing. You know what I mean? No restitution, no reparation, no anything. We just got degradation. So listen, what I'm saying is, right? Think about it, y'all. If somebody was like, where's your royal crest and where's your staff? Because Charles and them had the scepter that was iced out. He had the crown, the jewel on that crown. Talk black to me, y'all. That shit was dancing, it was blinking. He had a big rock. So that question would be, if post-millennium took place, the bloodlines that are amongst us, the kings and the queens and the people that come from royal bloodlines, you know, you exist out there. You just haven't taken the step, or the step has not been provided for you to prove it. You don't have proof, right? Like how they say in the Web3 world, proof of value, proof of stake. Well, moving forward with biogenetics, moving forward with quantum, and moving forward in AI and whatnot, everybody's going to know who they are in genome. You're going to be able to know, oh, you come from the bloodline of the kings. oh, you come from the bloodline of the gods and whatnot. That's right around the corner. Right? So if we can prove through genealogy, before we even get to that, we deal with genealogy. Yeah, you damn right. The day and the time is coming. If you watch that coronation, then if you know what you know, oh, nigga, big Fez energy. Oh, this shit finna, the legs is wobbly. We talking about, bro. They said God save the king. Astaghfirullah. Look, me and him is born on the same birthday. So is Boozy. Boozy gets locked up for the hammer, right? He gets locked up for a hammer, for a gun charge. King Charles, who's born on November the 14th, he's 74. I'm 47. My old man is 74. I was looking at homeboy like, you what? I thought you was 94. TK Kirkland is 64 years old. TK Kirkland, the comedian. I might pull a Vlad video up just to add context to it. How is it that you come from royalty, allegedly, where these people are supposed to have the finest of everything, and at 74, you looking worn down like that with the rickety ricks, and you supposed to be a king? But please go ahead.
All right, so in California, it's 5 million is being proposed for per person for reparations. So let's look at that. Let's look at this 5 million.
Yes.
Let's look at this 5 million. So you get 5 million. The colonial powers control the economic infrastructure. And I have a list. So you get this 5 million. Now all right, before I go there, the Europeans were what? Given land. The Homestead Act.
The Homestead Act, yes.
The Homestead Act for a period of 40 years,
yes.
Millions of acres.
Millions.
So why didn't they offer? Why is it not on the table what they offered the Europeans? Why didn't they offer that? Why is it a check? Why they didn't offer a check to Europeans? They gave them what? Under the Homestead Act, land and grant.
Right.
That's
the real
like that.
Grant money,
Why
right?
They're not offering that is because it cuts out the banks, right? The realtor companies, the mortgage companies, it cuts them out.
Facts.
They give you the land, you don't need, you cut, so realtor companies, that's in commissions. So they give you, and then let's look at this. They give you the check. Before I go into Federal Reserve notes, let's look at just the check. They give you the 5 million.
Right.
Because they control the economic infrastructure, you got to go to them for everything. That's
facts. Like how the IMF has people in slavery around the world. Yeah. Very like on you know, they have them on the quote unquote proverbial tit of Romulus and Remus, suckling at the wolf, you know, always needy, always in the position of the have-nots. My question to anyone with a logical mind is, think about this. They fooled us into believing that we're what they call the have-nots, right? They mainly said this, you know, ignorantly to people of African descent, Caribbean descent, and North American and North Mexican descent. All of us know that originally everywhere that we come from is abundant in many things, such as fruit, vegetables, grain. We also have a large abundance of livestock, right? We also have a proliferation and abundance of precious metals and whatnot, namely gold,
crystals, precious metals.
Right. So a people who we've learned come from a land that is considered to be barren, right? If you look at the fake coronation, it started raining out there. You did not see the sun at once. That's not original, okay? They don't even live underneath the conditions of what is seen as paradise. And they convince you, right? Not them. They had to convince you because they already know where they come from. And they already know that they are historically the have-nots. They convince you, right? You're the have-nots. And people carry themselves such as that. And they, once again, they they forfeit their energy and their power. That's why I put a post up today, say, take your power back. From what I saw at the coronation, nobody better tell me about Blue Beam. Nobody better tell me about their technology is more advanced. They putting out white papers that they're nervous about the advancement of technology that the average person has their hands on right now. They are not more advanced. Stop lying to yourself. You know what I'm talking about? I'm living day by day with this shit. Until I see it and it's in front of me, don't tell me that that's what it is, because that's not what it is. Don't tell me about Project Bluebeam. They couldn't even Bluebeam the words to these niggas so they didn't have to read it from a cue card. Okay? This is theater. This is, you're on a globe. That video will go around the world forever. Y'all was reading, everybody was reading from a cue card, bro. Nobody was coming off the heart. Nobody was saying it with passion. Nobody believed anything that they were saying in that situation. So that's the condition of the people that have all your shit. And you want to talk about peanuts, and we here talking to you about billions. You don't even know where to aim to smoke, niggas. You shooting in the fucking wind. And we letting you know the people that originally got this shit, that snatched your chain, you was looking at them the other day. And their legs is shaky. AI versus MJ, niggas 23. Their legs is shaky. They can't stand on their own anymore. So certain keys that have been hidden and whatnot, and certain seals are broken. So this is the next leg of the tour. Okay? Postliminium, restoration, what it's going to look like when they give you your shit back. When you could sit in that chair and your shorty, she could get her head crowned and whatnot and not look like what the hell was going on with his whiz, bro? She was mad shaky, man. What's going on? She didn't know where she was at. She was looking like homegirl from everything, everywhere, all at once, like somebody just jumped in her body or something. I'm appalled. I'm appalled. They shaking in their boots. All of them flags that they paraded in of all of those Caribbean islands, bro. That's why when I go to the UK, now I understand why that shit look like that. Because they own all, that's the Commonwealth. Them peoples is all vassals of them. You know how many, yo, let me pull up how many countries this dude, Charles, the only Charles that we acknowledge is Flannery, by the way, but let me show you how many countries Charles is in charge of right now. Niggas talk about Charles in charge, right? Wasn't that a show?
Yeah.
Right? Charles in charge. Charles was the headliner of the 2020 quote unquote Davos speech where they was talking, where they initiated C-19 at. And he was up there talking about getting rid of shit. And he's born on my birthday, y'all. Y'all have a lot to be worried about if that's the case. I'm just letting you know, my doppelganger, my other birthday twin is Boozy Badass. So imagine Boozy Badass as the king of Britain right now. And he got worms in the brain. That's all I'm trying to tell you. Just imagine that. But King Charles, yeah, he's not one to don't sleep on that one right there. Son is not nothing. You're gonna see, you know. And they push the buttons and they pull the strings and they keep the quote unquote illusion and other things going and whatnot. But all of those islands, they need to break away and stand up instead of quote unquote throwing shots at the brothers in the Americas trying to get some type of restitution on their end. There needs to be a concerted effort to collectively clothesline this shit. You know what I'm talking about? We need to form Voltron if need be, because from the way it looks like it, they have their foot on a lot of our people's necks. And imagine if just those flags that they were walking Australia, all of those indigenous people that they done conquered right in your face. They had the heads of state walking in there wearing shit looking like they got it from Rainbows, B. It was real petty, bro. Our people would never show up looking all regular like that. And it showed me everything that I needed to see. Then people need to get it. They need to hurry up and give us our shit back. And we need to stop asking nicely. How about that? How about the people get some testicular fortitude and stand up? And stop being wowed by little nuggets of information like you niggas is retarded and whatnot. And you just doing this shit for the feel-goodisms. You know what I mean? Like this shit is a fucking zoo or something. You know what I'm talking about? That's what I would kindly like y'all to stop doing. They treat this shit like fucking, you know, like dopamine hits.
Yeah, yeah.
The information is to be utilized. You got to do something with it. So like I said, I got people specifically on payroll in the building tonight taking notes. Like, nah, we're gonna turn these conversations into movies. Because that's also what has to happen, since perception is everything. We have to show what ifs. We have to show our people worlds where they afraid to even look behind door number one. But we got to show them worlds that exist, or multi-verses that exist, where we got our restoration and what it's going to look like, feel like, and how different it is from shit that we're going through and experiencing right now. People is like, oh, I wonder what's wrong. Why everybody dying young these days, and why are we in such conditions? I don't think it's hard to figure out. We're in such conditions because of the simple fact, right, that we don't have the shit that we need to get ourselves in the quote unquote best positions. Because at this point, that's what we need, the best positions on this planet, doing things that this planet needs to be done for it. And we don't need no European to be there with us. It's a wrap. We got AI. And I ain't talking Alan. That should be a way to wean yourself off of Europeans, to wean yourself off of Romulus and Remus and whatnot, to wean yourself off of give Caesar what's back that's his. At least you have an assistant that could be neutral. It's just it's an engine. It don't have a race or nationality. Don't fool yourself. But please continue.
Yeah, I want to give people where they can get the book before I continue. Go to moresamastry.org.
Yes, let me write that in the thing.
You have that? Yeah. So let me go right here. And this is the back cover here. So I want to thank you again. So I'm going to go. Now we looked at the, I said that before, that the Europeans control the economic infrastructure. So they get the check because they don't know who we are and that we don't control the economic infrastructure. What are they going to do with it? They're going to, it's a stimulus check for the Albions. They control it. We talked about the banks, the realtors, still estate companies, car dealership, supermarkets, the hemp industry, vineyards, breweries, gas stations, chain restaurants, clothing stores, shoe stores, sneaker stores, jewelry stores, hotels, motels, crew bus companies, airlines, airplanes and airlines, amusement parks, hair industry. So it becomes a stimulus check for the Albions. So even those of us who own our own restaurant, where you get the restaurant equipment from,
right?
Where you get the food from,
right? That's all
the
important.
tablecloths, the spoon, the silverwares, the plates. Where you get that from? Because I gotta bring that in. Oh, I own my own restaurant. Oh, I make my own clothes. No, we get the fabric from.
Right, vertical integration.
Where do you get the fabric from?
Right. That's most important.
Right. So once again, I said before, they offered the Albions under the Homestead Act land and grants. Why aren't they doing that here with us? Because they control the narrative. They control it. So they're going to set up where they benefit. It goes to them. They know we don't control the economic infrastructure.
Right.
So that's why. But I know why people, they want the check. So let's look at this, Red Pill. Let's look at this. The question: can damages be paid or satisfied in terms of reparations, applying a debt system instead of a monetary system, and using Federal Reserve notes, commercial debt instruments, instead of gold and silver coins? It cannot. You cannot satisfy damages with a debt instrument.
Right.
All right. So let's look at this. Red Pill. You purchased a painting 10 years ago for $10,000. 10 years ago. It appreciated by 100,000 to 100,000 10 years later.
Right.
You want to sell it to me? I give you 100,000 Federal Reserve notes in a bag. I take the painting. I take the certificate of authenticity.
Right.
I take the rate of when you purchase it, how much and the rate of appreciation.
Right.
I put that in a vault and have a certificate that's in the vault. I take that to the bank. All right, so let's look. So you hold on to that Federal Reserve 100,000 Federal Reserve notes.
Yes.
So let's say this for 10 years, then 10 years later, you keep the Federal Reserve notes 100,000 in a safe. I have the painting. Now the painting that I got from you for 100,000 appreciated to 300,000 10 years later. The 100,000 notes you have now depreciated. See, we don't have knowledge, brother.
Right.
Red Pill. Are people with these degrees, unless they're math and sciences, they're not educated. Unless they're in the math, science, and chemistry, they're not. They only can function, Red Pill. They can only function in a European conquesting system.
Right.
Not in a what? The jure positive law system. With all these degrees, all these degrees that people got, they cannot function with all these degrees that people got in a positive law, the jure system. They can only function in the conquesting colonial negative law system. Lucy, you got some education to do.
Right.
Lucy, you got some education to do.
To this day.
Can y'all hear my sound effects?
To this day.
We've been played.
Huh? We've been played, huh?
And we don't have true education.
Right.
Unless you have math and the sciences. Unless you have math, physics, chemistry, biology.
Right.
But if you're talking about sociology and the thinking, all that, you don't have negative law and all that. You don't have true education.
As a scholar, brother, can you please break that down quickly for my homeschoolers and people who want to expound on what it is that you just said?
All right. You're talking about the word education?
No, the fact that you said that you don't have education, don't have these things.
All right. So let me give you an example then.
Yes.
All right. Because let's deal with what money is.
Okay.
Because we don't have the knowledge. So someone who deals with banking, or someone who deals with we've been taught the race paradigm.
Yes.
So therefore we don't have knowledge of genealogy, ancestry, nationality principle.
Yes, we don't.
We have that we've been indoctrinated with the race paradigm.
Right.
But that only works in a conquesting colonial system.
In that system, correct. Where that
Right.
perception, that
Exactly.
Truman show, right? Where that perception is that box or that tesseract
In that box
already built out. That stage or that set is
That's
already
it.
prepared to perpetuate that into, just that. It's almost like the Truman Show. For
absolutely, the Truman
right.
Show. Yes,
right.
like the Truman Show.
Laid
Absolutely.
out. Okay, let's go.
All right, another one. Because we don't know what money is,
right?
And so therefore so the Federal Reserve note only works as long as they're in that debt system. So now you see as these other countries are going back to the gold and silver standards.
Yes.
So what a point I'm making, Red Pill, that we're going to be behind the 8 ball.
Right.
With all these agrees, as the world is advancing.
Yes.
Meaning going back to well-settled principles. Right. All right. We're going to be left behind because we don't have true education. We think we do. We do because we work on these jobs. That only works in a European colonial conquesting system.
Damn. Check this out. Thank God over here on Know the Ledge, we are being taught the power of the precious metals. By the way, y'all, we have a very special announcement. On Sunday, we're going to have our next 4 weeks of the precious metal workshops and classes, headlined by none other than the futurist brother himself, Chicago crypto block bully. All right. So he is going to take us to the next level in our journey on the precious metals. Look forward to it. Sign up to the Patreon. As a Rainbow Opal member, we have our good brother Chicago Block Bully in the building to teach us for 4 weeks on all things banking, gold and silver, and also things involving cryptocurrency, which is also entering back into a bull market. Thank God. But please, let's continue.
Let's open up for some questions.
Okay, let's do that. Family in the building. We have about 30 minutes. So we're going to allow for anyone that has any questions, comments, or concerns to let us know. And, I'll drop the link. You'll be able to pull up. That's how we'll do it. We'll drop the link. And if you want to ask a question, come through. Please keep it at
type those questions in, y'all. Come on, so bring the questions on. Got 30 minutes left. So I'm gonna spend this next 30 minutes filling questions. Yeah, I've talked enough. I've laid the good, concepts down. Down. So let's generate some questions.
The link is in the chat. You dropped it, good brother. You demonstrated. I know that we're gonna put you in. You're gonna be in the Patreon cycle as well as a teacher.
Yeah.
By a show of hands, everybody in the building tonight, how many people would be willing to have a weekly class with this brother via Patreon, of course, off of the YouTube behind the paywall where he could even say
etymology, y'all. Right. Semantics, grammar,
etymology expert, by the way.
Building, dictionary study skills.
That's right. If you ask anybody in this movement who brought the conversation of etymology, who is the godfather of the etymology, if it means anything to you, everybody would definitely say Abdullah El Talib MOSI BEY. He was a standout in the Wednesday classes that went on for 12 years at the National Black Theater, which is not standing anymore. That is it's a landmark in the hearts and minds of
been there
since, whatnot, right? Yeah, in the hearts and minds of the people. It's no longer even standing and whatnot. And this brother was in class with Taj Tariq Bey, with our good sister Mariah Bey, with Sister Anna E. Right. And also with myself when I did the monumental presentation about the antiquity of Moors in 2012, a 4-part series that lasted.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Before I put out more than masonry, yes, he did. I was there.
You feel me?
In the house.
That was one of my. I would consider that my magnum opus in terms of my Moorish studies and whatnot.
So we're going to team up then, brother. Brother, because that's you and I had that, because you and I you're the only one that did, besides myself, that they had done that level of research on this. Absolutely, brother.
Right. I had to do it for the movement because of what was taking place with the misinformation and the lack of people stepping forward who had the information, who could have helped to uplift the nation. And they were watching the nation get pulled down. And I think because of fear and intimidation, they never stepped forward and presented it on the public stage and in front of the people against all odds. And we was able to restore, you know, a downtrodden movement because it was getting trampled on at that moment in time. I can remember clearly. So, you know, shout out to the Monday classes, shout out to the Wednesday classes, shout out to all of the brothers and sisters in the community who stood tall and who are still standing tall, teaching this information, you know, against all odds, getting the information out there, breaking through the shadow bans, breaking through the censorship, breaking through all of the quote unquote, you know, roadblocks that are set up and whatnot, and the obstacles that they put out there, because these people who are wobbly at the knees, the theys that y'all call them, they said they changed their pronouns to they. So now people call them they, like they live. They fell in that spell right there. You know, we here, and my brother, Abdullah El Talib Mosley Bey, he has a lot of information and he's here to teach. He's been teaching for many, many years, and information data is the new oil. So we about to open up another pump on the Patreon. So yeah, we'll keep you updated as to the day that this brother will be arriving and be delivering his workshop and his classes. So look out for that. But if you're interested in what this brother is bringing, then yeah, let us know. So please continue. But yeah, I dropped a link for the
questions, y'all, because I want questions.
Come on now. I want detractors, retractors.
I can go on, but we got 20
if y'all
left, and I'm questions.
Come on, man. Come on. We grown in here. Zayed, pull up, brother. You could ask these questions. Pull up, my bro. Well, you can't be out there with the karate chop. You know what I'm talking about? with the you can't be in there keyboard karate. Y'all gotta pull up, man. Community is everything. Why y'all be so shy? What the hell is going on? Why y'all be shy to get on the big stage? Are you intimidated? Are you not entertained? Do you not have nothing to add on to the build? Where my scholars at?
Can they type it in, or would they have to come on? Red?
They could. I dropped the link. They could pull up. They
can pull up. All right.
Yeah. I gave him a link. I'm gonna drop it one more again.
Maybe they just maybe they want to just type the question in. That's the link y'all want to put.
You could type the question. Let me let you know. Yeah. Okay. The brother said, here we go. We got a question.
All right, good.
How do you feel about alchemy in the body, in that wealth recovery as related to taking back material wealth, having dominion over the earth as gods?
Yeah, we had
redeem our.
All right. Well, we as Moors mastered alchemy. You know, that would be you're looking at, for example, oils, and you know the oils don't start liquid. They're not. It's rock. You know, so we were able to, you know, take the rock and able to turn that into liquefied oils. All right, so that would be an aspect of alchemy from that perspective. That's going to just give it, you know, bring it down so that everyday people can understand it. All right, so we mastered that science of alchemy. So definitely the Europeans have benefited from that. So that knowledge and needs to be, that's part of the postliminium. So how do I feel about the alchemy? So let's tie that into postliminium. That's the restoration that includes the knowledge of it, as well as that which we produce from our science alchemy.
Right.
Absolutely. Great question.
All right. We got Kush in the building. Kush, where you at, brother?
You have a question? All right, good. I realized this past year that I've been burned out. I need that money right now, but I really don't want to go back to the rat race. What can I do to make? What can I do
to make that money so she could liberate herself?
All right.
I would tell you, well, we're in May right now. It's about 20 new income streams that may have appeared just because we're in this new season. You could look into festival season. You could look into the icy makers. They got the ice cream and they got the icy makers. Set it up in any of your neighborhoods with natural or organic type of fruits and flavors and whatnot. Take the health route because that's big now. You know what I mean? Go amongst you study your demographics and go amongst the demographics that are into the healthy thing. You could set up some type of food truck. You could set up a stand. You could go to any festivals or events and start setting up, get the ice machine. That's easy right there. You could go on the gig platforms, Fiverr and things of that nature. Go on Udemy and get your certificates by learning something, which is a skill, get certified in it. You know what I mean? They have free classes. Then go on Fiverr, Upwork, or any of those online gig platforms, and you can make money like that. Or you could come and sign up to my Patreon and whatnot, and we could show you how to make money with AI and other ways, with generative AI and other plays that you could do, other formulas. But yeah, there's opportunities out here.
All right.
You got anything for her?
No, that's good right there, bro. That's excellent.
So let me go to the good brother Zaid. What's good, my brother?
Zayed. Zayed. What's good?
Zayed.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
What's up, Zay?
Peace. What's up, Abdullah? Peace.
How you doing, man? It's been a minute.
I'm good. How you been?
I haven't seen you. I was at Black and Nobel was the last time I saw you.
Yeah, they cool, but I'm doing something different.
That was before the COVID. Yeah.
Right.
Now,
I just want to ask Red Pill.
Right.
So are you a black man, brother, or are you a Moor?
Well, I wrote you in the chat and I said my last name happens to be Moreland, so
are you a black man or are you a Moor, Red Pill?
I'm a Moor. I don't have to even explain it. My last name is Moreland. So
because you go on here every week. I'm tuning in for the show, excuse me, and you talking about us as black.
Right.
So you confusing, bro. Like, what's going on?
Well, if you know how I conversate with people who are black, then you wouldn't be confused. You know what I'm saying? I've been teaching this for about 20 years. I've been distinguishing black and Moor and also black and Moor. You feel me? So if you got into a room with a bunch of Bloods, would you call them Crips?
Yeah, yes.
Well, then that's you. Everybody's different. So the way that I work is people come into the truth of who they are, and that's who they are, and they're gonna carry themselves.
You should uplift the people. Don't tell them they black, and you know good and well they're not black. You know they ain't black.
I know they ain't black, but everything that I'm doing in my walks and in my teaching is uplifting the people. How about that?
So if you know they not black, why you continue to call them black?
The way that you act. It's about the way that you carry yourself. It's about the things that you're doing. You're getting caught up in the semantics of these words and trying to convince or convert. And
that's not semantics. That's teaching nationality. That's unlifting the veil that the European man put on their head. What are you talking about?
Right. And the veil is being uplifted from over their heads all the time. Every time that they come in to learn something, that veil is being lifted up. So
yes, yes, you do that, but you can't call them black. Come on, man.
you can't tell me
That's
what I
truth and
can't.
falsehood strangely mixed.
Nah, it's not that. Not that. That's how
All right,
you
brother
might see it.
Abdullah, what do
got
you
the
have
right
to say
to see it
about
in
that,
your
brother
own.
Abdullah?
Yeah, you got the right to see it in your way, and I have the right to see it in my way based on how I do it.
Brother Abdullah, add on, bro.
Right.
Red Pill's been out here teaching for years, brother. So, you know, I'm a, this is his platform.
Oh, nah, tell the truth. I don't care who platform it is. Tell the truth, the unadulterated truth, bro. I'm
As
listening.
I said, brother, you know, I'm respecting the
Oh, man.
platform, brother.
Yeah, see, nah, you on some soft man time. But look, peace and love. Keep writing them books. Red Pill. Keep teaching Red Pill, but stop telling people they black when you know good and well they ain't black, Red Pill. I love you as a brother, you and Blue. Peace. All right, y'all take care, man.
My
Stop
man,
telling
I
people
salute
they
my
black,
brother.
man.
That's
you
right.
still have the same number?
Nah, I'm
Call
gonna
me.
call you. I got your number. I'm gonna
Call
call
me.
you.
Yeah, call me.
Right.
All right.
Peace.
Text me.
Peace.
All right, peace.
Boy, that's the black police is outside today. Blue Bay, Islam, peace.
Peace. How's everyone this evening?
All is well. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. It's
Okay.
more so, I guess I can put the question as nowadays, not nowadays, the children are born into this AI world, correct? And with us as the parent, we're raising them, we're teaching them. But the children have, this is all they see, the on the TVs and the movies, the social medias that we don't know about, that
Right.
our children hide from us. So
Right.
how do we balance that with the children that are born today? That's all they know is AI. And when we're doing our best to teach and raise them, and besides, having them come on and sit next to us as we're viewing your show and or other people's show, but
Right.
how do we, as parents, how do we attack that? Because they're not going to believe us to a certain point, as we did not believe our parents at some points.
Well, I would say this. Before I even say that they're born into AI, a lot of them are born into iPhone. I mean, that could be considered a form of AI. But before the conversation about AI was even taking place, my question to you is, how did a 1-year-old learn how to operate your electronic device when they don't even speak that language? They're speaking in considered to be, they're not articulating themselves fully, but they knew how to operate an electronic device that has a touch screen. Where did that come from? You said that the parents are teaching them. I beg to differ. I didn't teach my son how to do a lot of the things that he's able to do on the phone. So the children are considered to be digital. They were born in what is known as the digital age. There's nothing that you can do about ages. This is a precession of the equinox. We are in what is known the electrical age. This is the digital era, right? So the children are coming hardwired to do what? They're not learning these. The children are not reading or watching YouTube tutorials. They already know how to. They know how to interface with the devices.
So
So
I do mean to cut you a minute. I want to be clear. I totally agree with you. So if I'm teaching my daughter to write down out her math problems, when she goes to school, they're doing calculator. What I mean is, if we're teaching our children morals, how to have respect, how to love themselves, and they are going to school every day, being around their peers and that's what I mean by they're born into, you made the correction, digital world. I'm gonna say
right.
that because iPhone, yes, we were the ones who understood the web, period. The web, the internet, back in 95, 94. So
But
now,
an age was ushered in, right? An age was ushered in, whether we agreed to it or not. There was an age that was ushered in.
Right. So the
It was
same thing is
highlighted.
occurring now.
No, not the same thing, sis. It's a new age. So something else is happening in this new age. It's
That's
happening
being
at a
ushered
different
in.
level.
It's
It's
being
already,
ushered in.
you're living in it.
He's in it.
Correct. So how do we, that us, teach our children that balance
What balance?
within having morals, having respect?
Right,
AI doesn't teach respect. When they're on
right,
social media, it's totally disrespectful to a
right,
number of different people and or
right.
whomever. So I just wanted to know
Balance.
besides reading, how do
Right.
we not convince, but how do we have that balance with our children if they're constantly TikToking and all of those
Okay.
different things?
This is what I would recommend, and it probably doesn't work for everyone. It's not a blanket statement, but I would begin to initiate the real balance. And the first layer of that balance would be let's see what life is with the phone, and let's see what life is without the phone.
Word.
If we can accomplish that part where we could do half a day, plugged into this digital world where there's a digital economy and attention is the new economy, but then we could unplug and tap into the natural world where we could go grounding, we could go swimming, you know what I mean? We could go to the beach, we could go
Right.
forest
We can go
bathing,
to the park and
we could go to the
everything.
park,
Yeah.
we could build something, just not, because you could get caught in this digital thing and not create. You're not building
True.
anything with the hands. You don't even want to get up.
True.
So that balance, I would incorporate that balance in the caveat or the what is called the what's the word I'm looking for? The reason for them to invest in it. I would offer some way of monetization.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey guys, y'all want to take some of this stuff that you're learning on the internet or you're learning in this digital world, and you want, we could go and make some money selling some of the some things that you've created, maybe some artwork, maybe a book, maybe this, introduce them to the AI. They could make a children's book, they could make a comic book, and then in the real world, they could sell that book and make real money,
Word.
And then it's like, all right, guys, now I'm going to show you what investment is. It's a fine balance, but it's definitely something that mama, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first teacher, she could easily make that happen.
It starts at home.
It
Yeah, I
starts at
totally
home.
agree. Mm-hmm.
What's the age of the children?
They're teenagers.
Okay, what's the age though?
Excuse me, 13, 14.
I got a 15-year-old, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's about to get weird. They're about to be completely, they're going to, they're going to move, they're going to be a little repelled
Mm-hmm.
by the nurture of mother energy and whatnot. They're going to be a little rebellious in a sense, and they're going to be drawn into that egregor. They're going to be drawn into that pull of that world of mystery and secrecy, the same way that all 13-year-olds are and 14-year-olds. Different generations had different situations, but it all's the same song.
Word. Yeah, I totally agree. I thank you kindly for answering that as
Indeed.
well.
No doubt. Peace.
All right, peace. And peace, Baba Bay.
Peace.
All right. Brother Robert Wright L. Islam. Peace, peace.
Yeah, what's up? I think I'm behind on the TV. But
Peace.
Peace, peace.
Yeah, how you doing? Red Pill, and peace to the chat and everybody else.
Greetings. Peace, King. What's good?
Yeah, what's up? I think I'm behind on the TV.
What's good? Islam.
Man, this is gonna be weird.
Now you good, bro.
Peace to the chat and everybody else.
Now you good.
It's a reverb. I'm gonna come right back to you.
Yeah, you got to do that because I don't know. I'm
right.
behind, Joe. I got to catch
All right,
up.
you got to turn the TV off because that's the reverb. Anything that got the volume up, I'll come right
Oh,
back.
that's
I'm
what
good.
it is. All right.
Yeah, Kush 99. Peace. What's good with you, my brother? Kush 99 in the building.
Chris 99. The future is now.
There you go.
Hope everyone can hear me.
You good? We hear you now.
All right, that's me. I did drop my question in the chat earlier, but I'm not too sure. But before I say anything, I just want to really give you guys your props for all that you do. I'm a lot younger myself, so how can I word this? Basically, not always having that guidance is something I feel is very important. And I feel that a lot of times the message that you guys are putting out there is very important because although your immediate surroundings might not appreciate it, you don't know the impact that this message is really having. So it's really much appreciated because in today's age, you might be able to, reach out to someone on the other side of the planet. So it's really much appreciated what you guys do. My question was having an understanding that the Black family unit has been attacked, and the family unit nowadays, just in general, how is it that we can try and establish a better connection with our ancestry, and where we come from and our roots? Because again, having understanding of like reparations, having understanding of who we are, to the brother's comment, understanding that we're Moorish, not really Black. So having an understanding of how to better categorize exactly who you are, and to brother's point, understanding
Travel.
Where you come from and how to move forward. Because a lot of days, in most cases nowadays, people can't even trace themselves back to the 3 generations, right? So I feel that that's something that's becoming more and more of a common issue. And in today's age, right, like to the brother's point, I definitely agree, that we should have a better understanding that the way that we categorize ourselves or address one another definitely does have an impact and importance. But my personal comment to the brothers, or response to the brother's comment, is for the younger generation, I'm going to be very honest with you, we're not on that, right? We're not really concerned about what we're supposed to be calling one another, right? The main concern nowadays, I feel that it relates to a lot of generational trauma that's been passed on, is financial stability. People want to be financially stable, right? Before they can even think about, okay, what I am, who I am, where I need to go, right? People want to know, okay, how am I going to eat tomorrow? You know what I'm trying to say? Especially
get out the hood, nigga.
Exactly.
What are you talking about?
You know what I mean? So, and it's unfortunate
until you
because
get out of that
an environment was
motherfucker.
kind of created for us to not be able to focus on the bigger picture, right? We're more focused on today that we forget there's a tomorrow. You know what I mean? So I definitely agree with the brother's point, but just want to open the perspective that to Blue Pill's point, if he's going to want to be able to, Red Pill's point, if he's going to want to be able to reach out to, these different groups and, having understanding, something I learned, a youth is considered from the age 6 to 29. Right. So just having an understanding that there's different groups and being able to communicate to those different groups can be very difficult. So you've got to have an open mind, and you can't just go, especially when people are at a different stage of, not enlightenment, I want to say, but a different stage of knowledge. Everyone's at their own level, right? So the best thing, to summarize everything I'm saying, and to go back to the original comment, is they always say that you don't understand something unless you can explain it to a second grader, right? Or to a child. So you can't go and tell a child you're Black or you're Moorish. They don't even know what that is, right? So I feel that we have to have an understanding of who we're speaking to, what level of knowledge they're at, and also being careful that a lot of times when you're breaking people's paradigms, you have to replace it with something. If my whole life I've been a Christian, and that's how I've gotten through some of the hardest times of my life, and I come now breaking your paradigms, and I don't have anything to replace that with, am I really helping you or am I breaking you? See what I mean? So it's a very tough thing. It's not an easy thing, especially to what you guys are doing, opening up these doors and you know, these type of conversations, because they're definitely needed. But again, my question is, how best can the younger generation and people in general get better in tune with their ancestry so they can have a better understanding of who they are, some of their ancestral practices, so that we can get back, right, to what brother was saying earlier, right, talking about abolishing slavery, but never really bringing us back to where we were, right? So I feel like we also do have a responsibility to getting back to where we were, as we did play a role into getting where we are right now, right? It's not always just to blame the white man and blame everything else. And so that's my question. But
all right, brother. Thank you for that question. And thank you for, you know, sharing what was on your mind. That's important, right? So to answer your question, I would say that one of the main ways that I would begin to communicate with the younger generation is through the realm of edutainment. You know, I would encourage you to continue to create stories out of the plethora or the plethora of stories of our antiquity, right? There's many different storylines to choose from. I would utilize the comic. I would utilize the script of the movie. I would utilize books. I would utilize all kind of things to teach our people. I would utilize fashion, right? Put the symbols and the motifs on the clothing. Get the story out there. We have a glorious history. Nothing to be afraid of, nothing to be ashamed of. I wish I would be somebody that wasted their time having the same conversation that this community's been having for damn near 12 years about the black thing. That's a red herring. That's something that I would never get stumped by and waste my time on. I'd rather show you our glorious history and antiquity. You know what I mean? I would rather show you what it looks like to live and not be considered black. When people see you, they see a Moor stepping because of their demonstration and their action and the things that they're doing in real time. Because Moors, you know, we about demonstrations. You know, this is, you know, so I would do that. I would study myself. I would refine myself. I would begin to live my teachings, you know, and I will walk in I will walk in the spirit of a Moor. However that speaks to you, because nobody can tell you how to step or how to move and whatnot, or what part of the lessons are speaking to you at the moment. But you got to live your truth. You got to stand on your square, bro. You know what I'm talking about? You got to stand on your square and you just have to live it. This is a living testament right here. You know? Well, go ahead, brother Abdullah. You want to share?
Well, you know, I taught in my chapter 11 of Moors and Masonry part 2. I have a title, Teaching Nationality to 5,000 Students in the Kansas City Public Schools. So thank you for, and I recount one of the questions. This one student out of 5,000 was the only one out of 5,000 students that asked me this question: Mr., what is your nationality? He first asked me, it's in the book, Mr., what are you? I paused. I was at the front of the class. He was 2 seats back. I can envision exactly where he was. He said, Mr., what are you? I paced it for about 15 seconds. Then he said, I mean, what is your nationality?
Right.
I was stunned, bewildered, perplexed. Never heard a student ever ask that question. 5,000. I walked over to him. Excuse me, your classmates and those who ask but never ask me that question. You mind my asking where you're from? My family's from Trinidad and Tobago. I said, all right. Out of 5,000, only one student asked me, Mister, what is your nationality? He changed it. First asked me what. That is insight. That is knowledge. To make the correction, to ask the proper question.
Right.
After first asking what, Mr. What are you? I say, man, wow. So that's in chapter 11, which is the last chapter. Teaching nationality, 5,000 students in the Kansas City Public School.
And also for the young brother's question, I will also leave on this. Do your genealogy, right? Don't do your DNA test. Go and do your genealogy. Take it a step further and then do your genome, my G. But do your genealogy, and then when you start hitting on those places where they say that you are tied into through your blood and whatnot, then you go to those places, and then you go to those places and you commit what is known as rituals and ceremonies. You feel me? You bring your divine other with you and you turn up, or you go to those mounds, or you go to the sacred places of whatever island or whatever country or whatever piece of land that they're saying that you really are resonating from. That's your personal walk, my genius. You have come here to resurrect a part of the empire that lies dormant in your bloodline. And we all got different journeys, and we all come from we all hail from different kingdoms and whatnot. But you niggas got to travel, or you Nagas and you Neguses or whatever. You got to get outside. The Moors were navigators. The Moors moved around. We didn't stand around asking people what's your nationality all day. We moved around and we showed and proved that the Moors was moving, that the Moors came through the door and whatnot. How they even know that y'all back if you're not outside? We everywhere and you're never there. You're not walking through no doors, pulling up as Moors and whatnot. So when they see you pull up, they don't gotta ask who you are, because they know who you are. They know you're not black. It's through the way that you carry yourself, my G. So you got to be in them places where it matters the most, you know. And that's amongst the people in important monumental times. You know, I decided I was gonna go and hit this tour because I don't want to miss out on history. I'm history making. I'm part of history, so I'm gonna actually be there, brother. When I would show up on Wednesday classes to see you demonstrating and whatnot, I wanted to see it firsthand. I didn't want to hear about it. So I blocked out all of my Wednesdays for 12 years and whatnot to make sure that I was in the building. You always saw me in the back doing what, brother Abdullah? Commerce.
Yeah. Yep.
It's to have a baby carriage, right? With my child.
Sure.
And I was vending, right? Ever since you met me, what was I doing?
Vending.
So as a Moor, I was tapping into the aspect of Moors working in open air markets, right? We're merchants. From the gate, my nigga, we're always selling something. You know what I'm talking about? You want to talk about, I'm talking about living this shit, not playing word games with people, bro. I've been living my Moorish shit. I wasn't working for nobody. I wasn't calling nobody master. People be calling in talking about black. You looking like you out in your 9 to 5, fam. You like you on the third shift or something. I work for myself. I built my I built this up utilizing apparel, you know what I'm saying? And I was doing trade with the motifs of my ancestors. Fuck is you like right on 125th Street when nobody was doing it. 2005. It's 100 t-shirt lines running around with conscious motifs on it now. We did that from the gate. We was teaching with clothing, but we have full lessons on the t-shirt. So it's about your demonstration. We need more demonstrations and not just people showing up dressed up like it and whatnot. We need more people going and traveling and waking up the grid and whatnot with the energy that's in your body. That's why I do roll call and whatnot. And I ask y'all where y'all from. So people could realize, oh, everybody that's tapping in is calling from ancient mound civilizations, all of the places where they have pyramids and mounds That's where this audience is from. So you don't even got to go far. You just got to wake up to who you are, who the genealogy, what tribe you from. But let's go to the next question. We got a brother in the building. Let me open up the line. Brother Robert Wright L is back in the building. Peace.
Yeah, I'm back. Peace to everybody, bro. Can you hear me?
Hear you loud and clear. You good? Peace, King.
All right. First I want to thank you, Red Pill, because like I didn't know anything about anything. You know what I mean? I fell into you. I fell into listening to Taj Tariq Bey, and just want to thank you for that part. And
thank you, brother. Appreciate that.
Talib Mosey Bey. You said that you taught in Kansas City school district?
Camden,
New Jersey.
Camden, New Jersey.
Okay.
Camden, New Jersey.
All right. Well, that slams my little question, because I was going to ask you, like, where did you teach there?
All right.
But that's all I wanted to know. That's all I wanted to say, man. I check in all the time. I let you know Kansas City, Missouri is in the house.
Oh, shout out to Kansas City.
Yeah.
Salute.
And the Morris thing, man, like I picked up this just to explain the L on the end of my name. I got that listening to Taj Tariq Bey and knowing that I'm not black.
That's right.
You know what I mean, as far as that goes. And then for the brother who was like being all aggressive towards you about what are you and what are you, even with that, a cat was in the chat one time and I was like, he has L on his name. How you going to question, bro?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like y'all, people get caught up in these words, man. And then words are super powerful, but who the fuck made them goddamn words, bro?
We did.
Caucasoids don't have a fucking word, bro.
Yeah,
they got shit. You know what I mean? That's all they can produce. They can produce shit. They can make shit real easy, and that's about it. So all y'all thinking that the Caucasoids is keeping you from this or keeping you from that, they ain't doing shit, bro. You keep your damn self.
Right.
You get out your fucking way. Stop being a scary ass person and just stand on your square like we've been telling you. And that's all I gotta say, bro. Peace.
Peace, King. No doubt. All right, let's
go.
Let
me clarify that though. We clear that we made the words. I'll be honest, they make words.
They didn't make these words. They can't.
Right.
They don't have these tones and these frequencies.
Yeah, they didn't make words.
The energy.
They reconstructed. They reconstruct.
Right. So right.
They didn't make words. They reconstruct.
Right.
Yeah. Make the words don't relate to them. You don't tie that to them. Tie that to us. You tie reconstructing to them, not making words.
Exactly. Let me open up the line for brother Krishnu. Peace, Krishnu in the building.
Peace, brother. Peace to both of you brothers.
Peace.
Thank
you.
Hey, can I add on, Brother Red?
Yes, you can.
The first time I met you and Brother Blue was at Dr. Aline Bey's lecture in Atlanta. Brother Panic was hosting it. And you were vending. You gave me and my comrade a CMOS drink.
Look at that. The seventh heaven all the way back then. That was 2012, wasn't it? Like 11 or 12?
Yeah, it was some years ago, man. Good little minute. And I met y'all brothers. I'm in Houston, DBA. So I've met y'all brothers on more than one occasion. And y'all got a powerful message, man. And always vending and always, bringing something to the forefront, some evolutionary talk.
Indeed.
So what I wanted to add on was I'm a more myself. And the brother was talking about, black, and the thing is, like, I had a meeting. I was invited to a meeting with some Israelites. And my lady, she was teaching them about growing in the soil, and the other brother was teaching about the aquaponic system. And when I was talking to them about sovereignty, and I wasn't addressing them as Moors, they refer to themselves as Israelites. And, the United Nations Declaration for the Rights of Indigenous People said we have the right to self-identification. Now, we don't need that doctrine to know that. We know that as gods and goddesses that we have that right. So how can somebody else try to come and impose or force somebody to how people choose to communicate? You know, if somebody calls themselves black, they have the right to do that.
Let me just share something.
Can I provide something, Red Pill?
Go ahead.
Let's clear this up, brother man. Brother man, we want it for the audience. This is for the audience, not just for you, brother. The Europeans forced black on us. That was so we want it for the audience. It's for the audience. We want to be very clear on this.
Facts.
That's not. We didn't choose that. We didn't choose to call ourselves black. That was forced on us. They stripped us of who we are. So it's not a choice. We're not choosing that. That's under conquest and subjugation. This is for everybody, not just for you. Right. We want to make it very clear that saying that we're black is not a choice by us. They stripped us of everything. Right. And they said understand, that makes us non-descendable. That's birthright theft. So we want to, this is for the audience. So it's not a choice. That's a force. If I strip you, if I take your children, brother, I take your children at 1 day old. 1 day old. I take your children at 1 day old. I indoctrinate your children at 1 day old, all the way up. Your children now 16, 18 years old. That's what they did.
Right.
They put us in orphanages. They used the Inquisition against the Moors. The Inquisition, 1563, Philip II issued a Spanish bulla, classified the Moors as Spaniards. The Inquisition was horrible.
Very horrible.
They tortured us, brother.
Yeah, they're horrific.
So we got to be clear, this by torture. I just couldn't be quiet on that. I have to be clear. This is for the audience too.
Right. Definitely.
Right.
And
right.
As vendors, right? Here's my logic about what we do. You said that you was a vendor, right, good brother?
Yeah, no, I'm not a vendor, but you know, my lady, she's in the seed business.
Oh, beautiful.
You know,
beautiful.
I do music, and I help, you know, brothers and sisters learn law and the legal system, so on and so forth.
Right. So when you do music, right, does the fact that the people that you do music with don't identify as Moors stop you from doing music with them?
Absolutely not.
Do you make it a prerequisite before you do music with them in a contract that they have to identify as Moors before you do music with them?
No.
When you're doing a financial transaction with them as a result of your services and whatnot, and they're rendered and whatnot, is the aspect of them identifying as black and you being a Moor, does that get in the way?
No.
Okay, brother Abdullah, you've been a vendor as well, and I've seen you at festivals and events. Do you establish nationality before you do business with people who identify as Negro, black, or color?
No, let me tell you what I do.
Okay.
Let me tell you what I do. At my co-workers.
Right.
This is what I do. I first develop a rapport.
Right.
But I eventually tell them that they're Moors. I do that. I have taught, like I said, 5,000 students. I taught over 1,000 co-workers, Europeans and Asiatics, Moors class. But I first start with sports. Particularly with the brothers, I start with sport. I develop a rapport first with the intention. I always have the intention of teaching them who they are. I start with a rapport. So that's always my intention to do that. I have spoken with 1,000 co-workers, both Europeans and Asiatic schools, school district, over 5,000 students. In fact, let me hit that. Students will come out of the classroom in the hallway.
Yes.
In the hallway. Tell them, Mr. Bey, we're not black. Tell them, Mr. Bey. Students are in the hallway. I'm running late to class. They're pulling me. Students in the hallway holding shop on lessons I taught in the classroom.
Yeah, let me show you something, right? Because I do the same thing, right? So here's my channel that we're on right now, right? So just like you said, you give them a few things and then you bring them to the information, right?
Absolutely.
So 13 years ago, right? We got Nodalege TV presenting Marakush, right? The same people from Moors in Court, Cheyenne, the Liberator, right? Then we reeled him in with a little Dr. Sabi and Lisa Lopez, and then we hit him with Taj, right? I Self-Law Master. This video right here is viral. Then we hit him with Taj again with another viral video, The Wisdom of the Moors. Then we hit him with Taj again, another viral one, Master Moorish Scholar Taj Tariq Bey, right? This is 49,000 views back in 13 years ago. That's when that shit meant something, right? Then, to take it further for people that are coming through, while we reel them in, the blacks, to bring them over here and teach them something, 15 years ago, we have the untold history of the Moors and myths. Then we have Hakeem Bey, a name that none of you niggas like to mention anymore, right here, giving you about the old United States versus. Then we have Taj again, Sovereignty Law, 15 years ago. Then I'm over here, Nodalege TV, Cosmic Sessions, Moors 101. That's 14 years ago. That's me and Asir the Duke of Tears, 14 years ago. Where was y'all at? Right? So this is how I teach. You know what I'm talking about? This is how I give it up. I got the Canaan Moors 11 years ago. So we reel the people in and then we teach them. That's what we're doing. The same thing that you said that you're doing, that's exactly what's taking place. And the receipts is right there for anybody that's want to question. And I thank you for that question because it allowed me to go and show you the receipts. You can't show me what you was doing 15 years ago, going viral and whatnot, teaching the people and waking them up. My $1 million question is, where's all the niggas that woke up at? Y'all should be master teachers at this time. I shouldn't be here. Y'all should have sat me down. Where y'all at?
To this day.
To this day. If I put out a video 15 years ago.
To this day.
And it went viral with 50,000. Where's the students at 15 years later? They're sharpening swords and whatnot, where you've written mad books and whatnot. You teaching the babies, you taking up all of the crosses that me and Abdullah is carrying, and you making our job easier for us. Where are you at? Come forward. Name a name. Name. Give me a succession of 4 names. I would ask you to start, Krishnu. Give me a succession of 4 teachers that's out here waving the Moorish flag, teaching hundreds of thousands of people in real time.
Dr. Alim Bey.
He was already out. He's excluded because he was already out. That's a name that was already putting in work.
Oh, are you talking about new people?
Who was getting this information 15 and 20 years ago? Where are they at now?
No, the teachers that's teaching on the mass scale, they've been around. They've been around. I haven't seen any new teachers coming in and really, reaching the masses like that.
I wonder why. I would ask I would ask what's going on with that.
I think that one of the issues is that every action is motivated by an incentive. So a lot of Black people, they're looking at it like, well, what's the incentive of calling myself a Moor? And then also what's not being pushed as much as I think it should.
The incentive, are the Moors demonstrating the incentive of what it looks like to be Moorish and not Black? Are the Moors showing them what does that look like on the level up? Are the Moors
fighting who got the biggest stick? They're fighting who got the biggest stick.
Are the Moors
fighting each other who got the biggest stick?
Right. They still fighting. That's what I'm saying. Why would I be a part of that? I see that shit is it's a quagmire. It's something that I witnessed destroy this whole movement almost a decade ago. This shit gives me PTSD, bro. Why would I put my energy into that? It's I feel like it's a part of a COINTELPRO operation. If you really want to know, there's levels of infiltration and agent activity in that one conversation, along with other conversation. It's a red herring. It's the same proverbial, oh, what you doing in my pocket? The minute somebody starts getting some motion and they want to build with their people, they throw that shit in there, and that shit it's a contagion because it's not structured properly. It's done to where it's like arrogant. The prophet warned you niggas about that. It's done in a level of arrogance. It's done in a level of disunity. It's done in a level of, you know, I'm better than you. Like it's pompous. Y'all
Indeed.
and y'all that. Well, invite me to the land that y'all niggas got. Invite me to your estate that you've basically got back. Like invite me to the land that was executed on, that you was able to get back with your paperwork and with those cards you be carrying. You know what I'm talking about? Show me. You got to demonstrate. You got to show forth. That's why I said earlier, I got creators on the line that can manifest. They can show. They're going to have to show because other people are not showing it. I want to see what we look like in them castles right now. I'm tired of them old 1600 paintings and whatnot. Where's the modern rendition? What's whole? Why is Tabe the only one in the castles, bro? Come on. Dudes is going to Mexico, they're going to Brazil and whatnot. They're going to DR. People going to get their teeth fixed. But where's the groups going to Al-Andalus? Where's the demonstration? Why is dudes not in the Iberian Peninsula? You know how they have trips to Kemet while they people are watching the monuments and the megalithic structures. Where's the millionaire movement over there? Because we need to go back on those lands ceremoniously. We need to show up for the running of the bulls and disrupt a lot of rituals that they got going on over there that's affecting us over here. The same way that I encourage that we go into the UK and begin to demonstrate a little bit more. When I went to the UK, we was in a parliament with Queen Diambi of the Congo, fully demonstrating for the Moors. But please go ahead.
Indeed. And you know, I got love for the Moorish Americans, but you know, just in my opinion, the US flags, that's not a good look. And I don't think it does us any service flying that. Any group of us that are flying a US flag, knowing the history behind it, that's not a good look. I think we're doing ourselves a disservice. And I think also proclaiming is one thing, but getting those court orders is a whole nother thing. US passports ain't even, when I was trying to contract with a US passport, when I was getting this house in my name, they told me that you got to get a court order, period. So I went and got the court order. Motion to get your race and national origin changed, same thing. Mayor Kush has been pushing that for years. That's going past proclamation. And it's not about, and it's international, because you could take that internationally, it's going to be recognized if you get it here. It's not about just Europeans. It's about having something that's going to stand internationally and making the conversation international.
Right. My humble advice to my industrious Moors that are out there, you got they would fare better if they were able to put some of these things on open ledgers like the blockchain, the things that the demonstrations that work, the things that are really effective. It has to be documented properly in a way that's a little bit more than a notary at this point. It has to go on an open ledger. It should be going on a blockchain. It should be decentralized. And it should be like how they put out research papers. You know, in the world of technology, they put out something called white papers, right? And we were told as Moors to put out our legal dissertations and whatnot. We were told to put out white papers. We were told to put out our research and whatnot. We were told to put out all of these things. This is how they study in the Ivy League colleges and whatnot. You know what I mean? And I don't see too much of that taking place. You know what I'm talking about? So it's beyond, we have to do what is known. We have to exit the realm of speculation because it's too many dirty Moors, too many infractions that have taken place. And when you're dealing with the trust at a very low level where nobody has trust anymore, you have to be able to demonstrate in the open ledger what works and what doesn't. Because if you don't take it into the realm of either documentation through a docuseries or a documentary, Or if you can't incorporate it into the realms of the imagination where people actually see somebody living the perks of what that's like, then it might as well not even have existed, bro. Because you're gonna get, you're always gonna be in a state of stagnation because niggas can't see it. If they can't see it, they can't believe it. They have to be able to see it, bro. So we need more demonstration. That's all I'm saying. It don't have to be on YouTube particularly, but that has to take place because our people are from the show me state. I've been here for a very long time. I know what works and what make people move and whatnot. Get the aesthetics together. You know what I'm saying? Fix the aesthetics and get it more up to date and more up to par. And let's begin to tell more stories about Moorish history, Moorish presence, Moorish futures. That's just my humble opinion. And I'm not saying that's the only solution. But salute to all of my brothers and sisters that are making move in a private and whatnot. You don't have to be in the public running your mouth. That's almost an oxymoron. But if there's going to be something that's going to be put in front of the public, it should be done in a way that is scripted, a story. Not shooting from the hip type of shit. That's not working no more. There needs to be more Moorish productions. They may say, what's the Moorish lifestyle? What does it look like? What do Moors eat? What do Moors wear? What's the one designer that all Moors agreed that they're going to shop with? What's the one thing that Moors agree on? Where do Moors meet? Where do Moors go for a pilgrimage? What's the Moorish ritual? What moons do the Moors obey? All of these things have never been established. When you go into the Yoruba community, it's established. When you go with the Hebrew Israelites, they have somewhat of an establishment. Even in the Kemetic industry, they have, in the Kemetic nations and whatnot, they have dates and whatnot. So I know the Moors do have those dates. I just feel that it needs to be a little bit more concerted because I haven't been invited to none of them.
Indeed. I agree. And I've been invited to the temple, but I mean, you got a lot of religious zealots out there.
Zealotness. You see homie in the chat, he on his zealot, he zealoted out. You know what I mean? That's why you just have to listen to the zealots and understand that, people are going to be real gun-ho about trivial shit.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen I don't see none of his work. No.
Yeah, I agree, Red. I just established a Sufi order and we got the membership applications and we're going to be giving out these motions for free. We're not charging for status correction. I agree with Mayor Kush. Status correction, as they created the terminology, is name correction, correction of race and national origin. So me, myself personally, I paid for it, but I'm going to be offering it to people for free, just to speed things up. Not trying to, knock anybody else, but, I want to see this thing move faster. We've been in this thing for a long time. Things, anything that I could do to speed things up, I'm going to do it.
Likewise, I want to see this thing move in a direction and at the speed that it's supposed to be moving at right now. I personally watched it get sabotaged in 2008. You know what I mean? I watched the train go off the tracks, and then I watched it get back on and then I watched it go off again. So there's nothing more in my heart to want to see in this lifetime, this nation truly rise up and begin to operate in what our good brother Abdullah Mosley Bey was teaching us tonight. And that's postliminium and true restoration with our land back, with our artifacts back, with our gemstones back, with the rights to the quote unquote land back. I'm a Moor land. I really got land. I went and saw my land and I saw it and they told me who stole it from us right in the Virgin Islands. St. Thomas. I'm a Thomas. Like we are land owners. They're exceeding our land. I know what that shit feels like. I physically saw it. So we got a lot of fights that we are all fighting on different fronts, you know what I mean? Different wars and different battles. But if we realize that we are all in the same fight, then this shit will go a lot easier. You know what I'm talking about?
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. I
Absolutely.
appreciate you pulling up, man. You want to
I
leave us?
appreciate your brothers.
You want the fam to know where you at? You said that you started the Sufi order, so somebody might be in your state and whatnot, and you might want to you want them to tap in with you, or you good?
Yeah, you could tap in with me on Moorish Empire on pretty much pretty much any platform, and tap in, and we'll like I said, we already got the membership applications, and send me a DM, and we'll go from there.
Thank you, brother. Indeed.
I appreciate y'all, brothers. Peace.
Peace, brother. Thank you. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you.
Peace.
All right, Betty. It's 11:30.
Yeah, this is our last question, man. We went overboard with it. Yeah. We got Dolt Dom in the building. Salute to Dolt Dom if you're there. Yeah, let's hear your question. Yes, peace. You got Morris jail in court in Overtown. A word. I would love to see you go live in there and show us what that looks like. Birthright in the state goes hand in hand with restitution. That's right. I would love for all of the Moors out there to tap in with me if you want to have that conversation, not just the conversation about genealogy. If you're ready to take that leap, if you're ready to take that step, hit me up on Proton, and we'll continue that conversation right there. But if you're not willing to go into genealogy and just get right to it, or even genome, then what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Know your molecular breakup. Know who you are on a most intricate level.
Hey, Red Pill, put the website up there, my website up there, so they can.
Okay. Let's let me type it out. The www dot.
Yep. mooresandmasonry.org.
It's and, or it's the symbol?
The word and.
Okay, mooresandmasonry.org.
Yes.
Got you, brother. I'm saying got you. Do we have an what do they call that? A discount code for my students for the KTLE?
You know what? I don't even have a discount code. Wow.
Might have
you know what? That's a good point. So that's something I'm gonna have to do for next time. Then I have to, because they have to be on the website.
Right. When you come through on the Patreon, we're gonna have the discount code for all of
the. Yeah, you can do it that way. The discount
whole library. That'll be a perk of signing up to the Patreon.
Yeah, you can do, because it's already set in this website.
Yeah. You good. We're gonna work that out. We're gonna work that out. And even if you have affiliate links, I'll talk to you about that too, because like the sister that was asking about making money and whatnot, I forgot to say, I have affiliate links for my ebooks. So you could become an affiliate. You could sell the 2 books that I have. One is about AI for children from AI for Star Seeds. And the other one is the Prompt 101 prompt book. So if you want to become an affiliate and make some bread, just tap in with me, and I'm offering opportunities for you to make some bread and tap into different income streams in the now. You feel me? Oh, here's Dope. Peace, Dope. What's good? Yo.
What up, though, man?
What up, though? What's good with you?
Hey, man, I'm glad to be here, man. So my question is, where can I find, like, like, I know you said you gonna put it together and all the POSTLIMINIUM and with the AI generator, but where can I find, like, visual representation of the Moors and stuff, like, just to see, like, what type of clothing and stuff they were wearing and
Stuff
More
like
than
that.
antiquity on Google.
Oh yeah, yes. Moors in antiquity. Oh yeah,
Moors,
absolutely.
yeah, that's a trigger word. Moors in antiquity. It's ANTIQUITY, and then that
Yeah,
should
you'll
start
find it.
popping up.
You'll find on what's it called? What's that?
There's a book in German. Do you know that? Do you know that the name of that book? It's like a whole collection, and it's from like German churches, and they got all of the Black Moors, like paintings, artifacts, statues. It's a whole. I'm talking about. It got like about 100 different churches in Germany. Do you know about that, Abdullah?
No,
It's
I mean I
famous,
know about this
like
church,
famous.
but I know of 100 different.
This book is famous too. Yeah,
Wow.
it shows you like Renaissance era paintings and stuff like that. It's a dead giveaway.
Yeah,
There you go.
I seen the one with the what they say, like the Russian icons or whatever.
Right.
Oh yeah,
Was-
yeah. I've seen those.
Did
So
you
that
Google
was
that?
You already
along
know
the
this thing.
same lines. That was along the same lines, right?
Yeah, did
Yeah,
you Google
yeah,
that?
that's it.
Oh yeah, I wrote it down. I'm definitely gonna Google it.
Oh yeah,
For
that's
sure,
you
for
definitely
sure.
on it. That's on the same path of what Red Pill's talking about.
Yeah, but
Right.
you know that was more
Oh,
so like
170 the
spiritual or
icon,
whatever.
the Russian icon got for 700. Wow.
Right. Yeah, they be asking
Mm.
for a lot of change for
Well,
some
cool.
of those
All right.
books.
Okay,
I
for
mean,
sure, man. I appreciate bringing me on. That was my only question though.
I got you, bro. Peace.
All right. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Yeah, family. So tonight was a wonderful night. The good brother came through and you dropped some bombs. Like I said, this is the beginning of a conversation. Show the book again. The book is very thorough. He's not just giving you one trick pony conversations. Flip the book open a few times. The brother has a lot of research, a lot of receipts.
The book
Go through the pages. I mean, a lot of research, a lot of receipts. Go through the pages. Many of us are students who want to learn. We have an insatiable appetite, and we respect receipts. We like to get information that we can go and do further research on.
Yeah, I got more information. Part 1 as well as on the site. Etymology, vocabulary supplement 1, and etymology vocabulary.
There you have it.
Let me tell you a story of how I met Polite. How I met Brother Polite.
Right.
This was not done in this format. All right. I got it upside down. All right. Tamara Ill actually laid this out in this format, but prior to that, I had one of my students back in 2006 done. I was doing the spiral binding form, and at the National Black Theater. This was I think 2003
or 4.
Maybe 8 or 9, with Polite. So Polite walks over. You remember Polite.
Right.
So Polite walks over. Brother Polite walks over to me. This was of course on Wednesday, and he's showing me my book, and he says he has it all. He has it highlighted and everything. He says I'm using this, to teach my children. I homeschool my children, and I said to him, "That's my book. I'm the author of that book." So that's how I met Brother Polite.
So, and then you have no idea how far your quote unquote work goes, and who it affects and who it influences and whatnot. Because I remember after that, the brother started turning out books back to back to back, right?
Yes.
So
continue to teach, that's true.
Continue to create, continue to break things down, continue to break these words down. Etymology is of utmost importance. And when you understand the science of the etymology or the etymon family, it's one of those infinity stones. I promise you, even if you're a rapper or somebody that works with the words and the words create worlds, this brother right here has one of the quote unquote skeleton keys for you. Please understand how powerful etymology is. Shout out to the legend. I'm talking about? Yeah, shout out to the legend, Chicago Crypto.
Chicago Crypto
What he's doing, he's putting the teachings on the blockchain. I put a lot of faith in my good brother and what he's doing. Salute to him. This good brother will be with us starting on Sunday on Patreon, and he will be teaching our brothers and sisters about what to do with the precious metals and also about Web3 and all of the wonderful things that have been culminating behind the scenes and whatnot. I look forward to it. I'm very excited about that. I'm very, very excited about that. So the demonstration with the Moors is in full swing. It's in full effect. Islam to all of my Moors. You know, we are collectively moving forward and being very illustrious and industrious in these days and times that the prophet prophesied about. So, yeah. What you want to leave them with?
Yeah, brother, Red Pill, I want to thank you for having me for the umpteenth time, man. I've been on this platform over 10 times since what, 2010, I guess, 11.
Back in the day,
like
I was young.
What's
I'm
that?
not a kid anymore.
It's been a while. Thank you again for having me. Once again, go to mooresandmasonry.org and pick up Moors and Masonry Part 1. Also, those who have Moors and Masonry Part 1 and Part 2, I have the Moors and Masonry Part 2 book club on Telegram. The Moors and Masonry Part 2 book club on Telegram. So download Telegram and let me know what your Telegram name is so I can make you part of the Moors and Masonry book club on Telegram. Red Pill, you a member?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. We got to incorporate the KTL book club into that. Hold on. So yes, family, this has been a monumental episode, but I'm out of here. I gotta get ready to hit the road. I'm on my way to Be More to link up with Blue Pillar. We're gonna tap in with the high level conversations tour.
It's almost 12 o'clock. You still rolling?
We're gonna see. Yeah, it don't stop. We're gonna see you in Philadelphia and Boston. We're gonna see you Boston the next day and whatnot. Yeah, I'm outside, bro. I'm outside. Red Opals, y'all. You know what I'm talking about? But Red Opals is here. All right. You know what I'm talking about? So love and light, brother Abdullah. We will see you soon. Patreon family. Yeah. Introduce yourselves. Get ready for this, brother. Get ready for Chicago crypto. The network is growing, it's expanding, and it's beautiful. All right.
Good.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Red Opals in the building, y'all. Love. Peace.
Peace.
Up in the Dumbo, smoking a gumbo. Few blocks before green, yeah, up in the jungle, coking the bundles. It's history in the making. I'm popping like fish to the grease and the bacon. My bitch is Jamaican. United we stand, dividing these bands. Like that. Up in the Dumbo, smoking a gumbo. Few blocks before green, yeah, up in the jungle, coking the bundles. It's history in the making. I'm popping like fish to the grease and the bacon. My bitch is Jamaican. United we stand, dividing these bands. They hide in their hands. I'm riding in vans, slide through your land. Hopping the sprinters, tore the underworld, popping the minter. Landed the turtles, I'm popping that splinter. Watching the snowfall, dropping the winter. Dodging the pitfalls, watching this bitch fall. And I still managed like Rich Paul. The paper was calling, I had to go switch calls. I spoke to my twin, I told my young boys I'd never be broken again. Invoking the gins, spitting the spirits, I'm soaking the gin. Your man's in the woods, we smoking on him. Fuck do you mean? We up and squeeze, tuck it and leave, we leaving a stain. Fuck up for breeze, running the banks, causing a crashing. Feather the feds, Moorish the fashion. Horse was smashing, kicking the door. Waving for force, it was blasting. Mother the gassing, loving the passion. Eat on your food, the brother was fasting. The weapon that formed against me was me. Perfected the storm as Bentley receipts. Washing the Benjis, we rinse and repeat. Century of self, I'm centered on me. Red as the pillar, I'm pushing the peace. Higher the level, I'm pushing the keys. They going for 19. The summer is mine, I'm going for 19. Thunder and lightning, flooded a brightling. The hunger was biting, biting. And I had to go switch calls. I spoke to my twin, I told my young boys I'd never be broken again. Invoking the gins, spitting the spirits, I'm soaking the gin. Your man's in the woods, we smoking on him. Fuck do you mean? We up and squeeze, tuck it and leave, we leaving a stain. Fuck up for breeze, running the banks, causing a crashing. Feather the feds, Moorish the fashion. Horse was smashing, kicking the door. Waving for force, it was blasting. Mother the gassing, loving the passion. Eat on your food, the brother was fasting. The weapon that formed against me was me. Perfected the storm as Bentley receipts. Washing the Benjis, we rinse and repeat. Century of self, I'm centered on me. Red as the pillar, I'm pushing the peace. Higher the level, I'm pushing the keys, they going for 19. The summer is mine, I'm going for 19. Thunder and lightning flooded a bright lean. The hunger was biting, biting.